His name was Cain. He had a horse along the countryside. I saw him ride. One day they found him.
I'm Christine Lisi. Cowboys coach Mike McCarthy diagnosed with appendicitis, having surgery today, expected to be released from the hospital later today. He does anticipate coaching in Sunday's marquee matchup against the Eagles. Bills linebacker Von Miller expected to play Sunday against the Chiefs while facing domestic violence charges in an alleged incident involving the mother of his children. The team does not anticipate he'll be put on the commissioner's exempt list. Once again, the Jets are going back to Zach Wilson. 2 weeks after his latest benching, the quarterback has been announced as the starter Sunday against the Texans by coach Robert Saleh.
Zach gives us our best chance to win, and given another opportunity to go prove that. He's fired up. Like I said on Monday, he came into my office. He wants the ball. And he's excited about getting this opportunity to finish the season strong.
Despite 6 turnovers the last 2 games, quarterback Josh Dobbs will start for the Vikings at the Raiders Sunday. NHL forward Patrick Kane makes his Red Wings debut tomorrow night against the Sharks. Potential milestone tonight for Iowa star guard Caitlin Clark enters the game versus Iowa State 22 points away from 3,000 in her career. 7 Eastern, ESPN 2.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman, and coming up Thursday, Micah Parsons said he could be Tyreek Hill's quarterback. I'll tell you why he's completely disrespecting Tua. It's unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN 2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, man!
Hey, shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Used to. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day. Yep.
It's hump day.
Let's hump, everybody.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Mike Denbrock staying at LSU.
Hump day.
The Aggies came a-calling.
It's hump day.
Couldn't close the deal.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Par for the course in Aggieland these days.
Hump day.
Mickey Loomis taking shots at the media.
It's hump day.
And the fans.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Defending a bad team.
Hump day.
An awful coach.
It's hump day.
And an overpaid quarterback.
Mike.
Oh,
what day is it, Mike?
We are going to go after Mickey Loomis in 12 minutes.
Hump day.
That chump needs to get out of here, too.
It's hump day.
Done with him.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
I'm done with this guy.
Hump day.
We'll head up to Carolina in hour 3.
It's hump day.
We got tons of Heisman stuff to get to.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
What, Muse? Why are you laughing? What happened?
Was that a My Cousin Vinny reference?
Yes.
That was really well done.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay. It was just a little bit of a delayed reaction.
Oh, that was good.
I'm done with this guy. Yes. Okay, let's get rolling. Glad you're here. A lot to get to today. We will get to Mickey Loomis on his radio show with Mike Haas. Took a shot at fans, took a shot at the media. We are going to get to that. Let us begin, though, as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Well, it has been a really busy 24 hours for LSU offensive coordinator Mike Denbrock. Of course, Mike Denbrock yesterday was up in Fayetteville for the Broyles Award ceremony. Phil Parker, the DC from Iowa, ended up winning it. unfortunately. But Mike Denbrock was a very deserving finalist. And apparently after Mike Denbrock flew home from Arkansas, he and his family had to have a pretty long conversation about an offer on the table. And apparently that offer came from an SEC rival. Our friends over at Football Scoop reported that Mike Denbrock had an offer from Texas A&M to become the Aggies OC. That was reported earlier today by Football Scoop. And according to Zach Barnett over at Football Scoop, the Aggies were prepared to make Mike Denbrock the highest paid offensive coordinator in the country. So when Denbrock first got hired at LSU, he signed a 3-year contract that paid him an average of $1.5 a year. So he was this year making $1.4 million. That was his salary this year at LSU. And for what it's worth, the highest paid OCs in the country are Garrett Riley at Clemson and Ryan Grubb at Washington, each making right at $2 million per year. So this would have, according to Football Scoop, the deal that A&M offered Mike Denbrock would have taken him north of $2 million per year. Well, LSU wasn't having it. And our buddy Ross Dellinger, now over at Yahoo, reported this morning that LSU finalizing a 3-year extension to retain offensive coordinator Mike Denbrock. Of course, was a Broyles Award finalist, led the top-ranked offense in the country, and helped develop Jaden Daniels into a Heisman finalist, which we know on Saturday will be a Heisman winner. So that's fantastic news. Bit of a whirlwind here. A couple of things on this. Many people had asked, really since the offense had gotten going this year, if Mike Denbrock were a flight risk. Like, could he be hired away somewhere else? And I think most, when they asked that question, assumed that he'd be targeted as a head coach. And the thing that I pretty consistently said was, I can't see a scenario where Mike Denbrock gets a head coaching opportunity that would pull him away from Baton Rouge. Here's what I mean. And it's not to say Mike Denbrock wouldn't be a great head coach or couldn't be. But Denbrock is 59 years old, and it is rare, if not altogether unseen, to see a coach pushing 60 get his first head coaching opportunity. Typically, at this point, you are labeled a career assistant. That's not to say Mike Denbrock wouldn't want a head coaching opportunity. I was told last year that Denbrock was one of the people who was asked about the Cincinnati opening. Remember, he came to Baton Rouge from Cincinnati. Luke Fickell left Cincinnati to take the Wisconsin job. When that came open, there was at least some top-level conversation, some surface-level conversation about that. So it's not to say he wouldn't be interested, but remember when Brent Venables was a great assistant at Oklahoma for so many years, goes to Clemson there with Dabo, and the thing about Venables was just always that he was just going to be this great defensive coordinator. He never got his opportunity. Well, Lincoln Riley takes the SC job, and Venables gets his first head coaching opportunity at Oklahoma, and that was an outlier. Venables was 50 when he got the OU job. Denbrock's 59. Again, I'm not suggesting, this isn't like an ageist statement. It's just the fact of the matter when you look at the market for hiring coaches in college football. It's just kind of the way it goes. You don't see 60-year-old coaches get their first head coaching opportunity. So I didn't see, and by the way, that's not to say Denbrock wouldn't have an opportunity to be a head coach at a smaller school, maybe a G5 or something like that. But for example, Mike Denbrock, his $1.4 million this year was more than Blake Anderson got at Utah State, who made $1.375. Trent Dilfer, the head coach at UAB, made $1.3 this year. Brady Hoke, the head coach at San Diego State, made $1.273. My point is, yeah, you could leave LSU to go be a head coach at a smaller school and make less money at a smaller school and start over and move your family. So it just, there didn't seem like there would be a real appealing spot there for Mike Denbrock to leave to be a head coach. And if someone was going to pull him away to be an OC, I didn't see how that would be possible, that LSU would let Mike Denbrock get away. And so we've seen that. Now, I will say also, I have heard whispers about NFL interest. Now, keep in mind, there are 2 NFL teams right now that don't have an offensive coordinator. Pittsburgh fired Matt Canada, who had been at LSU, and Buffalo fired Ken Dorsey, promoted Joe Brady as an interim OC, who also had been at LSU, as we know. But I don't know that there's great interest for Denbrock to go to the NFL, how serious that was. I just know that there was conversations there. A&M, a school like A&M would have made the most sense if Denbrock were going to leave. They were going to make him the highest paid offensive coordinator in the country. So Denbrock's making, just for consideration, Denbrock making 1.4 this year at LSU. Matt House is making 1.8. Matt House and that awful defense was making almost $500,000 more per year than Mike Denbrock's making. So, I could see where he would look and say, yeah, I could go, get a 33% raise there, about 40% raise on my salary, still coach in the SEC, have all these resources, all that sort of stuff, and going to A&M where Mike Elko is a defensive-minded head coach. Denbrock would have, in theory, just been the offensive head coach, right? He would just had carte blanche to run the offense. So if he was going to leave, and by the way, they did not cross paths, Elko and Denbrock at Notre Dame. Denbrock's last season at Notre Dame was 2016. Elko's first season at Notre Dame was 2017. So they missed each other by a year, but clearly there's a familiarity there. So if Denbrock were going to leave LSU, this would have been the kind of opportunity that would have made the most sense. But LSU did what they had to do. They stepped up. They've offered him an extension, a 3-year extension, according to Ross Dellinger, the financial terms of which we'll learn, but my guess is it's going to push $2 million. And LSU did what you had to do. You have good assistants. You find ways to keep them and keep them happy. The other part of that, understand how important that continuity is. Brian Kelly met with reporters on Tuesday morning and talked about that continuity in the staff and how important that is. Do you have that one, Muse, where he talked about the continuity in the staff? Because here it is. It's number 14, if you would. Listen to Brian Kelly, because you're 2 years in now, and you're probably going to have some staff turnover on defense.
You're 2 years
Go ahead. That's fine.
You've developed a culture within your program, a way to communicate, a routine, habits, things that you want your leadership to espouse on a day-to-day basis. You have to factor those in terms of making a decision. But you also have to factor in the play of your defense. And are there things that are correctable, right, under that leadership? Are there things that are not correctable? So all of that has to be considered when making those kinds of decisions.
So keep in mind, he was obviously asked about the defensive side. We all understand that, but the message remains the same. LSU went from Steve Ensminger in 2020 to Jake Peetz in 2021 to Mike Denbrock in 2022. You had 3 different OCs in 3 years, 3 different coaches, 3 different sets of terminology, 3 different approaches and how to call a game to work with your players. So yeah, having that continuity absolutely matters, especially because you're going to have turnover at the most important position in team sports at quarterback when you're going to lose the Heisman Trophy winner. So if you can maintain this structure with Denbrock and hopefully Joe Sloan as well. Sloan's a guy who is going to get opportunities to be an OC, to be a head coach. Like that's going to happen for Joe Sloan. I mean, his fingerprints are all over this offense as well, and with Jaden Daniels and the success he had at Louisiana Tech. So you expect that to happen. But if you can keep your OC in place for as long as you can, you absolutely do it. So this is massive news for LSU to keep Mike Denbrock. Not only because you're keeping him away from Texas A&M, I should say, not only because you're keeping him in Baton Rouge, which is the most significant, but you're also keeping him away from Texas A&M, where not only would it weaken you, create instability at LSU, but it would strengthen Texas A&M, which is at a very weak point right now. So the Aggies came a-calling. LSU did what they had to do to keep Mike Denbrock in place with a new 3-year extension. And that type of stability on the offensive side looked like it's going to continue. And mostly, while I'm thrilled for LSU to be able to keep Mike Denbrock, I'm also very happy for Mike Denbrock, who is very similar to Steve Ensminger in the respect that they're career assistants that in a industry that is upwardly mobile, where coaches are always looking to take that next step to advance their career and are generally very vocal about it because it's how you advance. Denbrock, like Ensminger, are guys that are super content to coach ball, to love the players they coach, to be good, to teach them not only football, but also how to be good men and husband and fathers and things like that. And it's so evident when you watch Mike Denbrock work with the players. They love him. So for all those reasons, a guy that's a genuinely good guy, good man, great coach, getting his just due, being a finalist for the Broyles Award, becoming very likely the highest paid offensive coordinator in the country, having a Heisman Trophy winner, all the success this year with leading, the NCAA in yards, total offense, yards per play, scoring, all that sort of stuff. It's he's worthy of the accolades and the praise, and certainly of the contract. And I'm happy for him. So LSU will retain Mike Denbrock after the Aggies came and tried to pluck him away. Okay, it's after further review. Our show Open Every Day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy in Louisiana. Of course, Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of the New Orleans Saints, the official beer of the LSU Tigers. So this holiday season, whether you're at a holiday party, just watching some ball as we come down the home stretch in the NFL or bowl season, make sure you have the great taste of Bud Light. Our friends over in Mockler have been great community partners. I know I've shared this with you before, but a year ago, Mockler sponsored more than 80 golf tournaments. That's more than one a week, obviously, on average. So all the great charities, schools, other organizations that you love that support our community, Mockler's been proud to support them for more than 40 years. It's Mockler. And, of course, Bud Light, the official beer of AFR. Drink easy in Louisiana with Bud Light. It's after further review. Y'all, let me knock out a quick break. Oh, I got to get to this. Mickey Loomis. Woo! You can feel the heat turning up internally there in New Orleans. We'll get to that next. What Mickey Loomis had to say about fans and media next on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Hudco Roofing. HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing and HudcoRoofing.com. Y'all, Friday, awful weather came through much of southern Louisiana. A lot of tornado watches and things like that. If you had that high wind, heavy rain that damaged your roof, and with all that bad weather, you realized you had roof damage, give us a shout at Hudco. I'll give you the phone number. In Baton Rouge, it's 364-1007, 364-1007, 364-1007. Call right now or go to HudcoRoofing.com. Remember, from the smallest repair to the largest replacement, Hudco can help. And not only residential, but commercial jobs. You got flat or metal roofs. I've told you this before. But, man, we've gotten so many calls since I've mentioned it about all those buildings like in Industrialplex or like Tom Drive there north of Florida on Airline. All those industrial buildings with the flat and metal roofs. You need a roof replacement? Hudco has a silicone coating product, half the cost with a 20-year warranty. It's Hudco Roofing and HudcoRoofing.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $20,000 off MSRP on new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. $20,000 off plus no payments for 90 days on new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. All with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The world's leaders in obesity research, obesity medicine, and obesity science are right here.
We're doing something that no one's ever done or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey, boat owners, check it out. It is the holiday season, which means it's time to buy yourself a gift by taking your boat to the next level with our friends at Front to Back Boat Service. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your boat and get it ready for that warmer weather, whether that's trolling motors, HD sonar, anything and everything. The Sherman family's been at it for 30 years, and Devin's going to take you through 30 more. Find him on Facebook at Front to Back Boat Service or go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
Step inside an Infiniti QX50, and you'll find a suite of driver-focused features tailored to your tastes. But most of all,
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Well, it is pretty humbling to know that the general manager of the New Orleans Saints listens to the show and unfollows me on Twitter. When the Saints got down 21-0 on Sunday, I, like many of you, tongue planted firmly in cheek, tweeted, "The Saints have quit on Dennis Allen. Fire him tomorrow." And I'm not a fire the coach guy. But my opinions coming out of that game were very clear, and I shared them with you on Monday. The New Orleans Saints had their backs against the wall. After you lost that game, the manner in which you did in Atlanta, where you could have, coming off your bye, taken a commanding lead in a very bad division. And I know it would have just been a game, but considering the ebbs and flows of this division, winning that game and having a head-to-head tiebreaker of Atlanta would have been very significant. And to go 0-for-5 in the red zone and all the things we know, right? All things we know. It was devastating to lose that game. Now you're coming home against a really good Detroit team, and you had to come out strong. And the fact that they came out lifeless and lazy and effortless, committing bad penalties, procedure penalties, the ball going off Juwan Johnson's hands, the defense just conceding an opening drive touchdown the way that they did was awful. And after you're down 14, you go 3 and out, give them the ball back, 3 plays, boom, you're down 21. I mean, that hadn't happened since 1986. That had not happened. Let that marinate. Had not happened in the NFL since 1986, where a team had scored 3 offensive touchdowns in the first 7 minutes of a game. Y'all, I mean, that's almost as long as I've been alive. So, yeah, they've quit on Dennis Allen. Now, all those guys are professionals, and they're playing for contracts and their paycheck and all that sort of stuff, so they continue to play hard. But clearly the message that Dennis Allen is preaching is lost on these guys. Well, Mickey Loomis was on the Saints Hour with Mike Hoss, the voice of the Saints, and had an opinion about people's opinion that the Saints quit on Dennis Allen.
Yeah, well, that's just unsophisticated and lazy journalism, to be honest with you.
Right.
As someone that either didn't watch the game or doesn't understand the game, and probably a lot of both.
To be very clear, I do not think Mickey Loomis is following me on Twitter and saw my tweet. I think that is an opinion that many people shared coming out of the game on Sunday, that this team has quit on Dennis Allen. Now, for whatever it's worth, it was Mike Hoss who presented that to Mickey Loomis about people saying that the team had quit. And maybe Mike saw my tweet along with others. Again, I'm not suggesting that that's the impetus for the question or Mickey Loomis's answer, but it's something that's very commonly believed right now. That this team, which came into this season, clearly the best team in a bad division, the betting favorite to win this very bad division, that had the easiest schedule literally in the history of the Saints organization, and even with an easy schedule, got easier along the way, considering all the quarterbacks you haven't had to face, like having the opportunity to face Josh Dobbs instead of Kirk Cousins, having the opportunity to face, what was the guy's name for the Bears that started at quarterback who was the Division II guy? I'm asking, seriously, what was the guy's name? The guy who played for the Bears? Do we even...
Bagent. Tyson
yes,
Bagent.
Tyler.
I thought it was Tyson.
Tyler Bagent?
I don't really think
Tyson
it matters,
Bagent?
but I'm pretty sure it's Tyson.
I think this interaction is illustrating my point, okay? The fact is, the Saints have gotten so lucky with respect to all of this conversation. You're not going to face Daniel Jones. Not that that's a huge loss, but either way, like, the Saints have gotten so fortunate this year, and yet you're 5-7. It's a massive disappointment, and everybody knows it. And the heat is being cranked up on Mickey Loomis, who for the bulk of his time in New Orleans has overseen the greatest period of winning in the history of this organization. So it has been sunshine and roses and flowers and candy canes and unicorns, and now it is not. He is tasting, really for the first time. I understand in 14, 15, 16, they had the back-to-back-to-back 7-9 seasons, and things got a little restless then. I do understand that. But this is the first time, really, since Loomis has been the GM, where things have gotten this, the vitriol has been this hot and burning this white hot from this fan base, where you're booing the team at home. You're seeing the paper bags again. I mean, these are remnants of my youth and, quite honestly, the bulk of this team's history. The team's been around since 1967. You're talking about 56 years. 56 years. But for that decade and a half with Sean Payton and Drew Brees, that's what has defined this organization. So Loomis, I think, is tasting that now for the first time, and I don't think he's handling it well. He also talked about the boos from the crowd.
Look, one of the things that we have here is a very, very passionate fan base. I appreciate that. They want to win. We've set a high standard for that. And when we don't win, it can become emotional. Look, our team's fighting. They're fighting to and giving everything they can to win a game. Every player is. The booing doesn't help us. And I know as a fan myself of teams, I understand that, yeah, I can be angry and boo, but I'm not helping my team doing that. And so fans have the right to do that. They have the right to express themselves. They're paying lots of money to come watch our team. They can certainly boo, but I don't have to like it.
There doesn't need to be a but in that, Mickey, because everything you said, which was very coherent, well articulated, and quite honestly, correct, all of that got muted with the but. But I don't have to like it. Because that's all anybody's going to hear. And when people are pissed off at you, that's really all they're going to hear, and they're going to start throwing it back at you. With every loss, all of this pressure and intensity continues to mount. Loomis was also asked about the number of Lions fans in the Dome who they took over the lower level of the Superdome on Sunday.
You know, our stadium sold out on a season basis. That's disappointing to have, that many tickets that are resold and, given to visiting fans. But look, I understand it. I mean, I understand the economics of it. I understand that season tickets are expensive and, you can't go to every game. And so, pick and choose to sell some. But I was a little caught off guard by the volume, as you said, in the lower bowl. That was unusual. And look, I understand it, but that doesn't mean I have to like it.
Back to, I understand I don't have to like it. Literally every game forever, every season forever, you have that element where season ticket holders may not go to every game. But the market is speaking to you. Your fan base is telling you. Like, they're displeased with you. You're disappointed by the number of Lions fans. Saints fans are disappointed with the product you're putting on the field. And it's exacerbated by the fact that you're not willing to do anything to change it. You want people to rally around you? Show them that you care as much as they do. I'm not suggesting that the people in that building aren't trying to win. I'm not suggesting Mickey Loomis and Dennis Allen, all the way on down through the coaching staff of the players, I'm not suggesting they don't care about winning. What I'm suggesting is when the product that you're putting out continues to fail to reach standards, expectations, and you don't do anything differently, why should anybody expect a different result? And this is the way that people express themselves. And when the GM starts going after fans and media, that's a bad look. I'm stating the obvious there. I understand it. But you know who doesn't have a general manager going after fans in the media? Teams that win. You know when Mickey Loomis wasn't going after fans in media? When the Saints were winning. So you're getting a taste of what it's like when you're not doing well now. And it's evident. They're not handling it well. It's unfamiliar to sit here and be 5-7 when you invested what you did in this quarterback. When you had the expectations that you did in this season in a bad division. Yeah, people got used to winning around here. And you're going to sit there and throw barbs about how you don't like booing and fans selling their tickets and lazy, unsophisticated journalism because people are saying that the team quit. By the way, journalism is the profession of gathering and reporting facts and information. That's not journalism. It's an opinion. An opinion that I share and many of you do as well. It's not journalism. It's an opinion. And you're not always going to like everybody's opinion. But the reality is, the Saints may go win on Sunday. They're playing Carolina. Carolina's the worst team in the league. You're at home against Carolina. You should win on Sunday. And you might beat the Giants. The Giants stink. You might go to Tampa and win. You might. Baker Mayfield's been hurt. Maybe you get to see Kyle Trask finally make a start so Larry Holden claim to win his bet. Like, you may go on a little run here. But if you do, that's only masking all of the gross deficiencies that this team and this organization have right now. And Mickey Loomis targeting fans and media instead of his coaching staff and players who are the ones out there actually disappointing. It's misguided anger and misdirected anger. I understand the frustration, but it only illustrates and shines a light on the frustration when you handle it like that. Bad times, man. Can you imagine if Carolina comes into the Dome and wins on Sunday? Whew. That is one I don't know how anybody survives. If you lose in a desperate spot, fighting for your playoff lives, at home against a 1-win team, a 1-10 football team, I mean, that is, or no, 1-11, excuse me. That is an unforgivable reality. We shall see on Sunday. What if we're going to see a lot of Carolina fans in the Dome on Sunday? All right, it's after further review. We'll get to the Saints injury report. Derek Carr was out of practice today. He was at practice today. So we'll see the official injury report. We'll get to that here in a bit. Let me knock out a break. We'll go around the SEC when we come back. The Pirtle is wide open, and man, is it a churning. And y'all, the exodus out of College Station is real and stunning. We'll get to that next on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Clegg's Nursery with 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Y'all, Clegg's still has, check their Facebook page. They still have a great selection of real live Christmas trees. It's to be this close to Christmas here, just less than 3 weeks out, and to still have the selection they do of live Christmas trees is pretty remarkable. But if you go to the Facebook page, you can see pictures of the trees that they posted just yesterday. So if you want beautiful, full, real Christmas trees, they've got them for you over at Clegg's Nursery. Any of the 4 locations, Sigan Air Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. You want a real Christmas tree, they got them. They do have pre-lit Christmas trees as well. If you're not going for the real thing, they've got a good selection of pre-lit Christmas trees. And their real trees, by the way, are all different sizes, from 4-foot trees all the way up to 12-foot trees. You want all your Christmas decor or great holiday gifts? A Clegg's gift card is a great option for a stocking stuffer. Buy local, shop local, Clegg's Nursery.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, party plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
It's Heisman Watch for LSU's Jaden Daniels, and we want to give you a front row seat live from Legends in New York City. Catch After Further Review with Matt Moscona Friday at 3 p.m. Then Saturday, Matt hosts the Heisman Preview Show at 5 p.m. live on Eagle 98.1 and 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Our coverage is brought to you locally by Acura of Baton Rouge, Insurance Network of Louisiana, and Community Steel.
We do appreciate Acura of Baton Rouge, Insurance Network of Louisiana, and Community Steel for sponsoring our trip up to New York City. It's going to make it possible. It's one of those things that is not an easy trip to make, just so you know. I mean, to send me and our engineer, Bo Wegman, to find a broadcast location, to do 2 shows there, to execute those shows, to have people back in studio to run them, flights, hotels, all that stuff. It's not an easy thing to do. So we very, very much appreciate our sponsors for making this trip happen. Got a little bit of breaking news here as the portal is open, and a 5th LSU player has hit the transfer portal. Our buddy Shea Dixon had it first, as I see it anyway, on Twitter. Freshman tight end Jackson McGowan officially in the transfer portal after 1 season in Baton Rouge. As Shea notes, McGowan, an Ohio native, part of a 3 tight end signing class for the Tigers in 2023. So Jackson McGowan hits the portal. That's not entirely surprising. If anything, I think signing 3 tight ends was a bit surprising. Now, LSU had to bolster their numbers there, and honestly, it was a 4 tight end class when you consider the JUCO tight end that they added as well, who's basically just an extra blocking offensive lineman. But Jackson McGowan, Mac Markway, who probably has the most upside, the most complete tight end among the ones they signed, and then Kamorian Pimpton, who we've described here sort of as a pterodactyl. I mean, he's a just long-arm, freakishly athletic pass catcher, and is going to be a red zone problem in his career. But when you consider next year, you got Mason Taylor coming back, you got Mac Markway, you got
Mason Taylor,
you got Kamorian Pimpton, and then you've got Trey'Dez Green coming in this class as well. It makes sense that there was going to be some attrition at that position. For what it's worth, here was Mike Denbrock. I remember I asked this question during fall camp when we had access, media availability with the coordinators. I asked Denbrock his opinion on each of the freshman tight ends as they came in, and here's what he said about McGowan.
Unbelievable route runner, understanding of the passing game, how to create space for himself, how to break down people in man coverage. Is somebody that can definitely help us in the passing game. Now, he's got to continue to work on his weight. He's like 230 pounds. I don't know that I want him blocking many defensive ends. So he's still coming along.
That was the thing that no doubt was going to keep him off the field. But I remember going out there the very first day of joint workouts, and Jackson McGowan was the first of the freshman tight ends. He was the one after Mason Taylor the first day out there.
Mason Taylor!
I was ready for it that time. And the reason was pretty obvious because he had exactly what Mike Denbrock said there. He was just a very crisp, clean route runner, catch the ball. He's going to be a really good pass catcher. Wherever he goes, he's going to be a very good tight end. Just had a lot of development to do, and apparently that development won't happen at LSU. Jackson McGowan becomes the 5th LSU Tiger to hit the transfer portal. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're with us. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center. Call Dr. Blake Williamson and the gang over at the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, or williamsoneye.com. You no doubt know someone who has had LASIK and has told you, best decision I ever made in my life. And I'm one of those people that sings that song every single day here on air. Glasses when I was in the 6th grade, started wearing contacts in the 8th grade, had them ever since. Every day shoving a contact lens into my eye. Oh, no, did I sleep in my contacts? Now they're crusted onto your eye. You want to go travel, we got to make sure you pack your contact solution, your contact lens case, your extra pair of contacts in case one rips, your glasses for when you take your contacts out. Did you actually update the prescription of your glasses because you just let that slide because you only wear them at night when you take your contacts out? You know the life. A lot of you right now are nodding your head because you know the life. It's a life that I lived for 30 years until I had LASIK with Dr. Blake Williamson. And yes, one of the best decisions that I ever made. Still 5 years removed from surgery, 41 years old now, still seeing better than 20/20. There's alternatives as well. The new Evo ICL is an implantable contact lens. It's an alternative to LASIK. You can learn about that. Maybe it's PRK. If you had LASIK years ago and your eyes continue to age and different part of your eyes maybe have an issue now, the lens replacement procedure, say it all the time, no matter your age or your refractive issue, if you want to see 20/20 without contacts or glasses, the Williamson Eye Center can help. Call 924-2020 or williamsoneye.com. We do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Mississippi State has its new defensive coordinator. It's Alabama special teams coordinator and outside linebackers coach Coleman Hutzler. Came to Tuscaloosa January of 2022. He was at Ole Miss in 2021 when Jeff Lebby was the OC at Ole Miss. And, of course, Jeff Lebby is now the new Mississippi State head coach. So a reunion there in Starkville.
The Vanderbilt Commodores.
Vandy linebacker safety C.J. Taylor is returning in 2024 for his final year of eligibility. He's been one of the top defensive players for the Commodores over the past 2 years. Commodores are also getting leading tackler Langston Patterson to return for next season.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
This is another big portal get for Kentucky. Former Georgia quarterback Brock Vandagriff is transferring to Kentucky. Will Levis, Devin Leary, now Brock Vandagriff. 3 consecutive years Kentucky has taken a quarterback out of the portal. Vandagriff, the former number 37 overall player in the country for the 2021 class, has 2 years of eligibility remaining.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
Rocket Sanders has hit the portal. He was first-team All-SEC in 2022, led the conference in rushing with more than 1,400 yards. This year, though, the injury bug bit him in Week 1 against Western Carolina, played in just 6 games due to that lingering knee injury. Now Rocket Sanders will finish his career elsewhere.
The Florida Gators.
Outside linebacker Princely Umani-Melian announced he will hit the portal for his final year of eligibility. He could still declare for the draft if he chooses to. And he was a really good defender on a bad Florida defense this year. Led Florida in tackles for loss, sacks, and quarterback hurries, and matched his career high in tackles.
The South Carolina Gamecocks.
Carolina's leading rusher has hit the portal. Mario Anderson will leave South Carolina after just 1 year in Columbia. He started his college career at Newberry, enrolled at Carolina in January, played this season there for the Gamecocks, where he had 707 rushing yards. He'll continue his career elsewhere.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
Another Georgia Bulldog has hit the portal. Cornerback Nyland Green with 2 years of eligibility remaining. He was a backup the past 2 seasons. He becomes the 8th Bulldog to enter the portal.
Texas A&M!
Okay. This might take a minute. The exodus out of College Station continues. And it's not just that they are losing players, it's the caliber of player that they are losing. We learned earlier, and Paul, you could pull this up, so we'll just carry it along. Walter Nolan, we already knew, hit the portal. Brothers Micah and LT Overton have hit the portal. Those are two defensive tackles. Chase Basantis, who started every game at right tackle this year for A&M as a freshman, a former top 50 overall player in the country, has hit the portal. Tight end Jake Johnson has hit the portal as well, after Max had previously entered the portal. We told you prior about Jordan Gilbert entering the portal, and two other players that have hit the portal as well, with Jordan Spasovic-Moko and Remington Strickland. We also learned today, that Fidel Diggs hit the portal for Texas A&M. It's not just that they're losing numbers, they are losing really significant contributors. Mike Elko's rebuild in College Station is going to be a pretty steep climb. Okay, there you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products, online at gcopnet.com. gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Let me knock out a break, y'all. When we come back, a little Bourbon Dictionary. Get your booze questions in for Taylor Calandro. We'll do it next here on AFR.
AFR. It's a raving fan shout-out. Presented by Darren James & Associates, brokered by eXp Realty.
This one comes from Kay DeQueer, who said, I've used Elena Singleton 3 times in the last 6 years, part of Darren James's team. Twice to buy properties, once to sell my condo in Baton Rouge. She is such a sweetheart. She really cares about her clients, becomes someone I could trust in my home purchases. She knew what my taste was, strived diligently to find my new home. She also sold my condo in Baton Rouge in only 18 days. She knows I'll follow her regardless of where she goes in the future. Another client testimonial for Darren James & Associates, brokered by eXp Realty. If you're thinking of selling your home, why call anyone other than the realtor that sells more homes than anyone? That's Darren James. 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com. Remember the Guaranteed Sale Program. Agree to a price and a deadline. If Darren doesn't sell your home at that price by that deadline, he'll have your home bought with cash or he'll sell it for free. Call today. It's Darren James.
Think real estate. Think Darren James.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Hey, boat owners, check it out. It is the holiday season, which means it's time to buy yourself a gift by taking your boat to the next level with our friends at Front to Back Boat Service. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your boat and get it ready for that warmer weather, whether that's trolling motors, HD sonar, anything and everything. The Sherman family's been at it for 30 years, and Devin's going to take you through 30 more. Find them on Facebook at Front to Back Boat Service or go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further. like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
They're the gang with the slang. This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
All right, wrapping up hour number 1. Get your booze questions in. Taylor Calandro's here to answer all of them. It's holiday time. You need some good holiday cocktails. They can help. Traction. Excuse me. What am I doing? I'm pulling up the Traction live read right here. Anyway, Taylor, what's up, man? Sorry, save me from myself.
Nothing. What's happening, dude? You drinking or what?
No, I'm literally talking and then looking at this as well because Traction's my next live read, so I was pulling up all the info about the camps that I'm going to have to talk about here in about 7 minutes from now. But anyway, let's talk booze. What's new?
Nothing really new in the last week, but in the next day or two, we are going to have some type of allocated drop.
Oh. I get it. So you're waiting until I go out of town to have an allocated drop.
You're going to New York. I saw your wife yesterday or the day before. I can't remember that. She told me that. I forgot you were going to New York.
Okay, yeah, going up there. So thanks for having your drop of the goods while I'm gone.
Sorry, man. It's just one of the things. You're going to New York. It's probably gonna be really cold.
Yeah, that's not great, but that means that will be a good excuse to drink whiskey at night when I'm there, which I'll look forward to doing after the show. Hey, let's before I forget, we'll get to questions. You get your questions in for Taylor. Email us, tweet us, text us 225-396-4400, 396-4400. Let's talk about the raffle. Give everybody the deets because we are 8 days away.
Yeah, so it's a week from tomorrow, and I thought it was 2 weeks from tomorrow until an hour or two ago when I was talking to somebody. I didn't realize what the date was today. But anyway, it's a week from tomorrow. We start selling tickets at both locations on Monday, and we're only selling tickets in person. That's something I haven't talked about a lot. We've never sold tickets online, but a lot of people aren't familiar. We're not selling tickets online. So we're only selling tickets in person at both locations starting Monday, and we'll sell tickets Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday all the way up until the raffle, basically, at Perkins. We'll probably cut off at some point during the day at Government Street. And if you're not familiar with how the raffle works, getting this question a lot, you're getting we're raffling a chance for you to buy whatever specific bottle that we choose. There's a list we go off of, and you're getting the chance to buy it. We're not giving bottles away. You're getting a chance to buy it. But all the ticket money that we collect, 100% of it goes to 4Kids Foundation, Emerge this year, and St. William's Academy. So, yeah, there's a lot of good whiskey.
It's awesome, man.
And the list is not quite done. There's a solid chance. There is a chance that we're not going to have the antiques and the Pappy until after the actual raffle, but we're going to do what we did last year and just raffle all the stuff when we get it.
Okay. It's for those that maybe don't understand the structure of the format. The bottom line is it's very hard to get a lot of these bottles, and so how do you treat all of your good customers fairly? Who gets what? Well, you do a raffle like this and you raise money for a great cause, and it's right to purchase at what is essentially a fair retail price, right? Is a way to say it. So
I mean fair retail. I wouldn't say MSRP,
right.
But it's fair retail. It's pretty much cheaper than anywhere you're going to find those bottles.
All right,
on a store shelf.
Let's get to. We got about 2 minutes. Let's get to some of these questions. John Wilson said, "I asked Taylor thoughts on Henry McKenna tenure. He said I was given a bottle. Lucky.
It's since the whichever barrel, very specific barrel, won World Whiskey of the Year a few years ago. It's been almost unobtainable. I like it. I don't think it's great, and I think a lot of people misconstrue the fact that one single barrel won World Whiskey of the Year, and it wasn't the whole line."
Sean Comiskey, best drink for watching Jaden win the Heisman.
Oh, I'm so pumped about that, by the way. Man, for Jaden, like a really nice old cognac.
I love it.
He gives me cognac vibes, like a Henny XO or something like that.
Greg Lehman asked Taylor which type of alcohol usually has the highest profit margin, beer, wine, rum, or whiskey. That's an interesting question.
The highest profit? Oh, from a retail standpoint. That is a good question. I would probably say it's liquor. Yeah, beer. There's no money in beer.
Really?
Not what you would think. No. In specialty beer, it's a little bit, but the bulk majority would probably be liquor. And wine, there's good margins too.
He's Taylor Calandro from over at Calandro's, the Rare Whiskey Raffle, again, a week from tomorrow at the Perkins location. Hunt will be doing his show there. I'll be doing AFR there. And again, all the money raised from the ticket sales goes to benefit those three great charities, 4Kids, the Emerge Center, and St. Lillian Academy, which, as I mention all the time, is where my son goes to school. It's a great school for special needs kiddos. So we appreciate the work y'all do, man. We'll look forward to being over there next week. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, man. And just watch our social media because I'm going to be updating it a lot in the next few days.
Okay, we'll be sure to be sharing it there as well. That is Taylor Calandro. This is After Further Review. We will get to hour number 2. We come back right after SportsCenter, get you caught up on national headlines. Stick around.
AFR.
As you know, I'm telling you about Traction. TractionSports.com. TractionSports.com. Traction, where champions are made. I was chatting with Eddie over at Traction yesterday. They got a lot going on right now. They got holiday baseball camps that I mentioned about. Of course, if you want the speed camp or the baseball camp, go get the holiday camps you can sign up for at TractionSports.com. TractionSports.com. When you scroll down, you'll see all the events and the programs, the holiday baseball camps, the holiday speed camps, and also they're already registering for spring baseball leagues and for a new spring softball league. So if you have a daughter that plays softball or is interested in playing softball, we've been telling you about the preseason pitching clinics, which are already starting, but the registration for the spring softball league is now open. So you go to TractionSports.com, TractionSports.com, 8U, 10U, and 12U. You can get all the info at TractionSports.com.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch, Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary. For those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I'm Chris Nakamoto, and here's what we're working on for our stories on WBRZ Channel 2 tonight. Officials from the city parish toured the juvenile detention facility this morning, looking at problems as discussions are being held about what it will take to come up with the money for a new facility. Last month, 2 separate escapes took place involving violent juveniles, raising questions about what's being done. Hear what they had to say. I'm Chris Nakamoto from WBRZ. Watch more tonight on WBRZ Channel 2.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance shops, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. And I think we're rocking and rolling.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, party plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Cowboys coach Mike McCarthy, diagnosed with appendicitis, undergoing surgery today, anticipates coaching in Sunday night's showdown against the Eagles. In McCarthy's absence, a trio of coordinators will run practice for Dallas, including defensive coordinator Dan Quinn.
What's good about Mike and the system here, it's all laid out, to about how we'd go and what we would do from yesterday, today, all the way through, through the game, the meetings, the schedule. So pretty easy on that one. You just, take it and run with it.
Bills linebacker Von Miller expected to play Sunday against the Chiefs while facing domestic violence charges in an attempted incident involving the mother of his children. The team doesn't anticipate he'll be put on the commissioner's exempt list. Jets quarterback Zach Wilson will start Sunday against the Texans 2 weeks after his latest benching. Vikings sticking with quarterback Josh Dobbs for at least one more week. He starts Sunday against the Raiders. Florida State receiver Johnny Wilson is skipping the Orange Bowl and will declare for the NFL draft. NHL forward Patrick Kane will make his Red Wings debut tomorrow night at home versus the Sharks.
Home, auto, prized sports memorabilia. Whatever you need to protect, Geico can help get you covered. And with the award-winning Geico mobile app, you can get 24/7 claim support and on-the-go policy access. It's easy to Geico. Go to geico.com today.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yusu. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. About an hour and 15 minutes from right now, we'll head up to Charlotte, get a peek in on the Panthers. Not going well. They've already fired their coach. They've only won a single game. The future of that organization is certainly tenuous right now. And the Saints, if you need to get right, Carolina would be it. So we'll check in on the Panthers again a little more than an hour from right now. Mark Yarbro from ESPN Radio up there in Charlotte will be with us. And I'll get to the Saints injury report in 15 minutes. Derek Carr was at practice today, so we'll get a check-in on the Saints here in 15 minutes from right now. Congrats to Jaden Daniels, who, man, he is going to need to add on to his house, condo, apartment, whatever it may be. He'll need a full-on trophy room. He's already won the Unitas Award. He's been named the Associated Press SEC Offensive Player of the Year. First team All-SEC. There are many, many, many more awards coming, including the Heisman on Saturday. Add another one today where the coaches voted Jaden Daniels the SEC Offensive Player of the Year. So another great accolade, a superlative for Jaden Daniels in a season where they were aplenty, and what's one more? And there will be many, many more, actually, as we move throughout this week of awards and that rubber chicken circuit. But as you look at Jaden Daniels, as they say, to the victor go the spoils, and he is reaping the rewards of all of his hard work right now, and it's justifiable. And Saturday, for many, that will appear to be the culmination of that, but really it's probably going to get as we get closer to the draft. And I saw this today from Mel Kiper, and it was so interesting because it wasn't just like a piece on draft quarterbacks, it was an extensive deep dive scouting report into Jaden Daniels, because Daniels continues to be one of the more intriguing prospects in this draft because of the meteoric year-to-year rise. As Mel Kiper notes in this piece, this scouting report piece, he would have had Jaden Daniels a 4th-round pick a year ago. Like, if Daniels had come out of school a year ago, Kiper said he would have had a 4th-round grade. Now he's got a 1st-round grade and could still rise even higher in round 1 and really cement himself after Caleb Williams and Drake May as 1-2. So there's some even more opportunity for Jaden Daniels here throughout Senior Bowl, Combine, Pro Day, all that stuff as we get closer to the draft. Just a couple of the tidbits that Kiper points out that I thought were really interesting. One, when he was talking about Jaden's strength as a runner. So the NFL, we know, has evolved over the past decade. You just see less of the prototypical pocket passers, right? Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, tall, strong, statuesque guys that stand tall in the pocket and with strong arms, even through the Dan Marino, Jim Kelly. Just go through the years. And you're seeing more dual threat guys where quarterbacks, because of a lot of the rules protecting quarterbacks, running quarterbacks have become in vogue. And I think it also, my theory on that is it just starts at the younger level. Coaches with the advent of 7-on-7s, you have coaches that at a younger level are putting better athletes at quarterback and using their ability to run as a skill set. Well, there are only 4 starters in the NFL, 4, who had a 1,000-yard rushing season in college. Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts. That's it. And now Jaden Daniels joins that company as well. That's pretty good company that you're keeping if you're Jaden Daniels. Kiper also notes that where he's improved the most is the passing game. And that's something we've talked about a ton here throughout the year. And my contention has been that Daniels a year ago, while, yes, there was so much criticism and critiques of his ability or willingness to throw the football and stretch the field, I think a big part of that was the fact that he had a really bad offensive line a year ago and had to run. But what you've seen this year, as Kiper notes, Jaden's completing 62.6% of his passes of at least 10 air yards with 29 touchdowns and 1 interception. A year ago, 49% of his passes that traveled at least 10 yards in the air. With 29 touchdowns on throws that traveled at least 10 yards in the air, that ties him for the 5th most in a season since 2013. So in the last decade, Joe Burrow, Baker Mayfield, Deshaun Watson, Jaden Daniels. I mean, you're talking about a guy that has not – so for all of the jargon, all of the argument about stat compiling, that's just not true. It's – and all of this bears it out in a scouting sense – that it shows the efficiency and effectiveness with which he's playing. And the other thing that Kiper pointed out, and I think this is the one that most speaks to what I just alluded to. Kiper writes, the best part about Daniels, he only runs when a play breaks down. He does almost all of his passing damage from inside the pocket. 35 of his 40 touchdown passes this season were from inside the pocket, which ranks 1st in the FBS. Say it again. A giant part of the reason that Jaden Daniels ran as much as he did a year ago was out of necessity. It's not that he wanted to run. It's that he had to run. He had to run because that offensive line was so bad a year ago. Better offensive line, which we found out today is a finalist for the Joe Moore Award. It's given Jaden Daniels a cleaner pocket. And now you've seen the results. Now, if there is a knock where he'll be scrutinized, as they point out, one is he's got to protect himself, as they note. There was also, as Kiper noted, scouts that will wonder if Jaden Daniels' jump came because he was throwing to Brian Thomas and Malik Neighbors. How much of his success was because he had 2 top-flight NFL receivers? You could ask that same question about anybody, really. I mean, Caleb Williams a year ago was thrown to Jordan Addison, who was a Blitnikoff Award winner at Pitt, who transferred over. So I think at great programs, you're going to have great receivers. That didn't cost Joe Burrow because he was throwing to Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. And I think we've all seen it this year, and that's something that will continue to reveal itself to scouts as they move toward the draft. But a really great feature on Jayden Daniels that Mel Kiper wrote up at ESPN. It's a full-on scouting report, and there's going to be much more of that as you get closer to the draft because he is one of the most intriguing prospects in the draft after Williams in May that everyone assumed are going to be 1-2 as far as the quarterbacks and maybe 1-2 overall in this draft with so many quarterback-needy teams. And Kiper points out the Raiders, the Bucks, the Falcons, the Vikings, just to name a few. I know everybody here wants the Saints to pick a quarterback, but you wouldn't realistically put the Saints in the market for a quarterback when they just spent the money they did on Derek Carr. So I'd love to see it. I've gone on record many times about that. I just don't know that I believe it's going to happen. But Daniels becomes one of the most intriguing prospects in the draft. If the consensus 1-2 quarterbacks are Caleb Williams, Drake May, who is next, and will one of those quarterback-needy teams be a believer in Jayden Daniels enough to pull the trigger maybe even in the top 10? That's really what he's flirting with throughout this pre-draft process. But for Daniels, in the meantime, before he even gets to any of that, it's award season. And Brian Kelly, when he met with reporters, congratulated Jayden on being a Heisman finalist.
Jayden, obviously, as a finalist for the Heisman, certainly want to note that. Congratulations to him. That's an incredible achievement. He also was the winner of the Johnny Unitas Award, and there are others that are certainly out there pending that we believe he is a strong candidate for.
I'm going to mention that Brian Kelly did say that that Jayden Daniels has not made up his decision about the bowl game, if he's going to play or not. I've told you, my opinion is Jayden Daniels should not play in the bowl game. If he wants to, God bless him. It's his decision. But this is not something where it does him any good whatsoever to play in this bowl game. The ReliaQuest Bowl against Wisconsin at 11 a.m. Central Time on January 1st. Go out to California, work with your quarterback coach, get ready for the draft, go make yourself tens of millions of dollars. But if he wants to play, wants to run it back one more time with his guys, I respect it. But Brian Kelly was also asked about that progress, that development that Jayden Daniels has made his 2 years in Baton Rouge.
You hope and you want to design a culture and an atmosphere for your players on a day-to-day basis to be held accountable, to make good choices, and to be surrounded by others to do the same thing. And I think his time here has allowed him to strengthen his accountability, his choices, and that's what we have tried to put forth since we got here. And I think he's a product of that, and he's influenced others around him. So you know that you're making progress within your program when you see the maturation of a guy like Jayden Daniels, because not only does it happen off the field, it happens on the field.
Boy, has it ever on the field this year. Jayden Daniels had one of the most prolific seasons in the history of college football and is set to win the Heisman Trophy on Saturday in New York. Okay. It's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break. We'll get to the Saints injury report. A lot of people asking about Derek Carr. He was at practice today. So we'll give you the absolute latest when we return, and we'll let you hear from Panthers interim head coach Chris Tabor as well. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Glow Resources, complete employer solutions. Glow wants to remind you that if you're a business owner, that's why I say complete employer solutions. This isn't a temp staffing agency that is trying to recruit a whole bunch of employees, and they're a last resort for companies who need people in a hurry. Glow Resources want to be the first resort for you if you're a business owner. And especially with this time of year, as we're getting to the end of the year and tax season's right around the corner, so many times companies who need accounting personnel, Glow Resources can help. If you need white-collar labor, yes, Glow does a ton of skilled blue-collar labor, but their employees also can be placed in white-collar jobs as well. C-level management, project managers, engineers, call centers all over the world. Glow Resources can help. They are complete employer solutions. Go to glowresources.com.
Hey, boat owners, check it out. It is the holiday season, which means it's time to buy yourself a gift by taking your boat to the next level with our friends at Front to Back Boat Service. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your boat and get it ready for that warmer weather, whether that's trolling motors, HD sonar, anything and everything. The Sherman family's been at it for 30 years, and Devin's going to take you through 30 more. Find them on Facebook at Front to Back Boat Service or go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and Citizens Bank and Trust invite you to bling in the holidays. Register today at 1045ESPN.com to win a $10,000 custom piece of jewelry handcrafted by Stuart Selassie himself. Bling in the holidays with Citizens Bank and Trust, Selassie Jewelry, and 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
You think Derek Carr is just faking injury so he can get the sympathy vote? Yes or no?
I do not know.
Paulie, you think Derek Carr is just faking injury so he can get the sympathy vote?
No.
I don't know, man. I can make a compelling case. Like on Sunday when he's sandwiched on the turf by Bruce Irvin, he's entered into the concussion protocol, is not moving his arm for the second time in a month. We've seen this now from Derek Carr. And also we're told he has rib injuries. That's Sunday. 72 hours later, our friend Brooke Kirchhoffer from New Orleans.football tweets, Derek Carr looked just fine in practice today. Made every throw when we were out there, even sprinted across the field. He did not participate in team stretch. Pete Werner was back. Taysom Hill, Malcolm Roach, Cam Irving were not at practice. I'll get to the full injury report here in just a quick second, but I mean, dude sprained his AC joint, which I've never sprained my AC joint. I'm not a professional quarterback, but all indications are, I know Drew Brees talked about this, it's one of the most painful things that you could have as a quarterback is a sprained AC joint to your throwing shoulder. Derek Carr didn't miss a game. Now he's got that thing busted up again. He's still out there at practice. Crazy. Part of me respects it. Part of me wonders, Muse, maybe, just maybe, Derek Carr is just rolling around getting the sympathy vote.
I think there's other better ways to get sympathy vote maybe than faking injuries. I don't think he's doing that.
I don't like in Wedding Crashers. I mean, Jeremy just kept staying down.
Yeah.
And then, remember, John was like, hey, just trying to get the sympathy vote. You're down again? Get up.
Get up.
Get up. I don't know. Okay, the injury list this is the longest this has been all year for New Orleans. So going into a game against Carolina where you're going to be favored against the worst team in the NFL, to see this, look at this injury report. Can you pull this up, Paul? It takes up the whole damn screen. All right, here's your DNPs. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 DNPs. That did not practice. Isaiah Foskey, which we know. Taysom Hill has a foot and left hand injury. Cam Jordan didn't practice with the ankle injury. Marcus May was out. Kendre Miller was out. Malcolm Roach was out. Rashid Shaheed, who didn't play this last week, was out. Limited. Derek Carr, Jimmy Graham, Juwan Johnson, Eric McCoy, Andrus Peat, Ryan Ramczyk, Pete Werner. And Blake Grupe, listed with a right groin injury, was a full participant. So your quarterback, your entire offensive line, and half your defense all didn't practice today. Not a great recipe when you're trying to get your season back on track against the worst team in the NFL. It is also worth noting that Dennis Allen told reporters Derek Carr is still in the concussion protocol, so I'm not making light of that. Please understand. Trying to bring some degree of levity to an all-around awful situation for the New Orleans Saints. But Derek Carr is in concussion protocol, and there is even worse news that Malcolm Roach and Marcus May went to IR. So they'll miss at least 4 games. And with 5 to play, it's a safe assumption that Marcus May, Malcolm Roach, their seasons could be over. The Saints were awarded linebacker Monty Rice on waivers, and they signed defensive tackle P.J. Mustipher as well today. So that's there's your roster updates for the New Orleans Saints. You know, we'll wait and see how this injury report looks as we get closer to Sunday. And by the way, I guess I should mention the Panthers injury report as well. I mean, the Saints injury report took up the whole screen. But the Panthers are dealing with their own significant injury list as well. Troy Hill, Taylor Moton, Adam Thielen, Deshaun Williams all did not practice. Long list of limited participants. Von Bell, center Bradley Bozeman. Keep an eye on that one. Safety Jeremy Chin. Outside linebacker, Yatir Gross-Matos, Marquise Haynes. J.C. Horn was limited with the hamstring. Hayden Hurst still limited with a concussion. Stephon Sullivan limited with a shoulder. Tommy Tremble limited with a hip. Amari Barno, our outside linebacker, was a full participant listed with an ankle injury. So anyway, my point is, by the time you get this deep into the season, you're into December, and you play 12 games, everybody's hurt. Everybody has injuries, bumps, bruises, scrapes, it's breaks, it's just strains, pains. It's the nature of the NFL. But the Saints had largely avoided a really deep injury list until the past couple of weeks. And it's coming at what is really the worst time for the New Orleans Saints. Of the greatest significance, obviously, Marcus May goes to IR. Pete Werner did not practice and didn't play this past week. I'm sorry, he was limited. Pete Werner was limited. Malcolm Roach is done for the year, so presumably he's on IR. But that's going to hurt your defensive line depth. Cam Jordan didn't practice today. He's battling through the ankle injury. You understand that you have a defense that isn't playing up to its standard, and half of its starters are hurt right now. And on the offense, look at Eric McCoy, Andrus Peat, Ryan Ramczyk, all on so 3/5 of your starting offensive line, your quarterback, 2 of your best receivers. I mean, it's just when you're looking for the ball to bounce your way for something to go right, it feels like the opposite forces are at work right now against the New Orleans Saints. Now, that's been the case for Carolina all year. They're the worst team in the league. They're 1-11. And my God, if the Saints lose to Carolina, and a lot of you have mentioned this on the text line today, and you're right. Like, if you lose to Carolina, I don't know how you come back from that. Carolina's 1-11. They're 0-7 away from home. The Saints are a 5-point home favorite, which the fact that the line is so short against a 1-11 football team and you're at home starts to tell you the story of the lack of confidence in the New Orleans Saints. But this is one where the Saints have not won a game since they beat the Bears at home with Tyson Bagent. Bagent or Badgent? Is it Badgent?
Bagent.
I think it's Badgent.
Everybody said Bagent during the
Maybe
week in the
Bagent.
game.
Badgent. I'm going to go with Taylor Badgent.
Does it really matter?
No, it doesn't. Yeah. That's the point. Yeah. That's the point. But the Saints haven't won since they beat the Bears in the Dome. And with the Saints now losing and the Falcons winning this past week, being a full game behind Atlanta in the standings, and then not having the tiebreakers, well, you're effectively 2 games back. I never like to say must win until it is a literal must win. Like if you don't win the game, then your goals are taken away. Like if you don't win the game, you can't win the division. If you don't win the game, you're out of the playoffs. So it's not a literal must win until it is, But this is about as close to a must-win as you could possibly have, because if you lose this game, then even if Atlanta loses this weekend, you're still a full game back, and then you fall another game back in the division tiebreaker because of your division record, losing another division game. And then how do you really get off the mat if you lose to Carolina, a 1-11 team when you're looking for a get-right? So without it being a literal must-win, this feels like as close to a must-win as you could have without it being a literal must-win. So Chris Tabor, who is the interim head coach right now for the Carolina Panthers after they fired Frank Reich just halfway through his first season there in Carolina, he met with reporters on Wednesday and kind of talked about the mindset of being an interim coach of a 1-11 football team coming to New Orleans this weekend.
I would say this about him. I really do. I appreciate how we played on Sunday, even though we didn't get it done. And I know that that's frustrating for myself. That's frustrating for them. That's real. I have no problem acknowledging that. But at the same time, I think it's one of those things that, like I said, you have two choices, character or compromise. And when I lay my head down and go to sleep at night, I like to think I know who I am. Did I do an honest day's work? And I think that's how you have to look at it. I don't think about the record. The record thing's way past. I just think about what are we doing in order to set ourselves up to win.
That's a good way to approach it. You're not going to turn. I mean, you're 1-11. Your season's over. You're not going to the playoffs. You approach it to a week to week. How do you get a win this week is kind of how they're looking. And Tabor himself is an interesting guy, and he's been a coach for 30 years. Started at the high school ranks back in the the early 1990s, and he finally broke through in the NFL back in 08 with the Chicago Bears, coaching special teams. He's been with the Bears, with the Browns, and now with the Panthers. So 3 teams during his NFL career, and he's getting his opportunity as a guy who's mostly been a special teams coordinator throughout his career. But it's sort of the same thing that I alluded to with the Saints. Find the guy on the staff that everybody respects. Find the guy that they're going to go play hard for, that they're going to rally behind. It's the same thing in Las Vegas with Antonio Pierce. Everyone in that locker room respects Antonio Pierce. I don't know that he's a great head coach. I mean, he's cutting his teeth, and we'll see how it goes. But put the guy in the front of the room that people respect, and apparently they have that with Chris Tabor. We'll see how long he's there. But one more. He was asked, play number 8, please. He was asked about, of course, these two teams met in week 2. It was Monday Night Football. It was Bryce Young's home opener. Just a dramatically different feel of the season back in week 2 as it is right now. But Tabor was asked, does that game tell you anything for now, or was it just too long ago considering the way both seasons have gone?
It can help you maybe with regards to what possible matchups might look like. But at the same time, then I think you have to account for how the season's gone, where your player's at that time versus where that player's at the time. Just because maybe on a matchup you got the better of them in week 2 doesn't mean that whatever this is, week 14, that's going to be the same.
All right, Saints and Panthers, noon Sunday from the Dome. We're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. I mean, the weather's getting cold, y'all. I mean, this morning we were in the low 40s. The 30s tonight. When you have drafty windows, it's going to cost you money. Literally, it's going to cost you money. Because if you have drafty windows, then that cold air is coming in. It's making your home central heater have to work harder. Your energy bills are going up. That's why energy-efficient replacement windows from Relief Windows in time pay for themselves. Not only is it going to lower your energy bills by making your home more energy efficient, it's going to beautify your home. And when you go to sell your home, it's going to increase your home's resale value. Like, you will get credit on an appraisal for having those energy-efficient windows from Relief Windows. So check them out. Relief Windows, they are the absolute best. The most beautiful windows, the highest quality product, the best installers, expert installers. They're measure techs. They measure twice to install once. And if you are not thrilled, you will not pay a dime. At Relief Windows, you don't pay anything until they're done and you are thrilled. That's Relief Windows. Windows, door siding, Relief Windows, and ReliefWindows.com. All right, it's after further review. Glad you're with us. We are going to go, speaking of the Panthers, in 45 minutes, we're going to go to Carolina. Mark Yarbro does radio up on ESPN Radio in Charlotte. He's going to join us, kind of give us a little thumbnail on how things are going in Carolina after they fired Frank Reich, all of the hullabaloo around Bryce Young. Did they draft the wrong guy, et cetera, et cetera. We'll get to all that in about 45 minutes from right now. Let me knock out a quick break. Another Louisiana native wide receiver hit the transfer portal today, and he may be a target for LSU. I want to talk a little bit about what LSU's receiver room is going to look like next year, and this prospect in particular, why it would make a lot of sense for LSU to go after him hard. We're going to get into that when we come back. It's AFR.
AFR.
If you're looking for something to do tomorrow, A great idea for you. Been telling you about Evenings at the Renaissance. This is a great series that our friends over at the Renaissance Hotel are doing where they're letting you discover a lot of different foods and wines and different spirits, and all in a fun package way to do it in a gorgeous setting. It's Evenings at the Renaissance, and the next one is tomorrow, Thursday, December the 7th, from 6 to 8:30 p.m., featuring Sugarfield Spirits. Sugarfield is a local company. You want to enjoy local spirits at the Renaissance Hotel in a great setting. Right there, Tallulah, and then the Terrace give you an indoor-outdoor flow. It's an amazing way to spend an evening. If you want to learn more, get to their Facebook page, or, of course, you can just call the Renaissance Hotel or call Tallulah over at the Renaissance Hotel. Again, Evenings at the Renaissance all the way throughout the rest of 2023 and into 2024. The next one is tomorrow, Thursday, December the 7th, featuring Sugarfield Spirits. It's Evenings at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $20,000 off MSRP on new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. $20,000 off plus no payments for 90 days on new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. All with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
His name was King. He had a horse along the countryside. I saw him ride. One day they found him.
Life in Louisiana is like a run-on sentence. A poem that doesn't rhyme. Life is here, now. For life's moments, big and small, always there. The right card, the right care.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
It was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like Vans.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Second one. Missed it. Rebounded by Booker. 4 seconds. 3 seconds. Durant for the tie. It's no good. And it's over. The Los Angeles Lakers advance.
Lakers beat the Suns, which means the Pelicans will play the Lakers in the semifinals of the in-season tournament. That will be tomorrow. So it'll be Thursday at 8 Central. and that is going to be on TNT. So a nationally televised game. The Pels have a chance, man. You're 2 wins away from getting to hang a banner, and I mean, the weather outside is frightful. The fire is so delightful. You know, actually, Muse, it is appropriate. I mean, it is really. I mean, it's kind of Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Merry Christmas. The Pels are playing. It has to be Christmas.
That's true. Our long-standing rule here is we don't talk about the Pelicans until after Christmas. But, of course, last year, they mandated it.
Yeah.
I mean, in December, they were the number 1 team in the Western Conference.
Remember it fondly.
The Zion windmill dunk against the Suns. Oh, my God, what a moment. I remember where I was when.
The same?
I was at my in-laws' house.
Huh?
Sitting at their kitchen table, looking at the TV through the den. Watched Zion do the windmill dunk, and I lost my mind.
So?
And then, you know, the rest of the season happened.
Well, yeah. Zion got hurt.
Well, everybody got hurt.
B.I. got hurt.
Everybody got hurt.
CJ.
They all got hurt.
Yeah.
You got hurt. I got hurt.
Yeah.
Paul got hurt. Everybody got their feelings hurt. And so, I don't know, man. I just can't buy them. I mean, this is the least amount of Pelicans basketball that I've watched at the onset of a season. Certainly since Zion was drafted. Certainly. It's hard for me to believe. It's hard for me to buy in. Like, I can't expose myself emotionally to this again. For what it's worth, as I understand it, and I'm not going to pretend to know everything about this in-season tournament. I'm not going to sit here and pretend to tell you that, like, I'm watching the in-season tournament, I'm following all the rules or whatever. The semifinals and the finals do not count against your regular season record, correct?
That is how I understand it as well, yes.
So I don't believe this will matter for postseason, tiebreakers, anything like that as well. The Lakers and the Pelicans have not yet played this year, and a year ago, the Pelicans were 1-3 against the Lakers. So the Lakers own the series. 2 years ago, you remember, the Pelicans swept the season series. So after so many years of struggling to get off against LA, you sweep the season series, and then last year you looked like you were going so good, and then, of course, it ended the way it did. But in any event, we'll see how the Lakers do against LeBum James and the rest of and Anthony. Is Anthony Davis going to play?
Yeah, probably
gotta
not.
hang now. Gotta hang
Probably
now?
not. He's street clothes, man. He never plays.
Street clothes. Best nickname ever. All right, Pels, Lakers from Vegas, the in-season tournament. If you've been looking for an excuse to lock in, I mean, I get it. You got Thursday Night Football. Isn't the Thursday Night Football game this week?
Yeah, that'd be the Steelers and the Patriots.
And the Patriots.
Yeah.
God, what a miserable football game that's going to be. But it's still the Steelers and the Patriots, so it's still football. If you'd rather watch football than the NBA, it's there for you. But this will be an intriguing one. If the stage is set, the Pelicans are healthy, you're playing the Lakers, you get to go against LeBron and AD, you're in Vegas, they're going to have the funny-looking court and all that stuff. Yeah.
The Skeletons?
The Skeletons.
The Skeletons.
Yes.
If the Skeletons win the in-season tournament, are you back in? Like, are you fully back in?
I can't tell you that I care about an in-season. I mean, I would be completely fabricating interest, and I'm not going to be disingenuous to the audience.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you that I care about the in-season tournament. Maybe I'll feel differently if they win it.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, if they win it,
maybe.
Okay.
I don't know yet. Let me see how the next 2 games play out. If they beat LA in advance, because if you lose, you're out.
Yeah.
So you got to beat LA. You got to advance to the finals. See if they win it. If they win it, maybe I think they'll probably see Milwaukee. Right?
Probably, yeah.
So if you beat LA and then Milwaukee, I mean, that'd be a hell of a run.
That'd be good.
When you feel like you're playing for something. And I think what we all know about the Pelicans is, yeah, they're a deep team. They don't have the best starting 5 in the NBA, but they have arguably the deepest roster in the NBA. They're just never healthy, like including your best players. So I know that's not something you can necessarily control to a certain degree. Like, you can't control injuries. Nobody ever goes out trying to get hurt. But damn, like it's the same thing with Michael Thomas right now. Everybody want to run to the defense of Michael Thomas. Forgive me, you still have buried in your brain Michael Thomas is who he was in 2018. We haven't seen that cat in 5 years. Michael Thomas has played, what, a dozen games? What was he played in 10 games over 3 years coming into this year? Mm-hmm. And it was hurt again. Like, forgive me. I have no... Michael Thomas was great. He ain't been great for half a decade. Like, I have nothing for him anyway. That's where I am with the Pelicans. It's like, you can be great if you're ever healthy and play at your max level. I just don't know if you're ever going to do that. So, allow me to be pleasantly surprised, please. All right, the Skeletons.
Yes, the Skeletons.
The Skeletons will play tomorrow. For those who don't know, they have alternate uniforms that they wear, an alternate court and everything for the the in-season tournament. The Pelicans uniforms, it's got like Pelican bones. Can you pull up a picture of the? I don't know if you have Paul. I'm trying to see if you have a Skeletons picture there, Paulie. I would love to. Anyway, whatever. I don't know if I can find one. You can find on their Twitter or other places. We need to have something like that handy. A Skeletons picture handy of the uniform so we can pull it up. Anyway, yeah, I'm not finding one here really quickly, but anyway, it's all right. It's after further review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. Brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com. Michelli.com. More than 30 offices across 11 different states. You weigh or measure something. Michelli sells services, rent the products you use to weigh and measure. Man, I'm going to be at the airport tomorrow, flying to New York City, flying to the Big Apple. Go up for the Heisman presentation. When I go to the airport, put my luggage on the scale right there before I check my bag. I'm going to have to check a bag. Got lots of shoes I got to bring, y'all. I'm going to look right to the side. There's going to be a green and blue Michelli sticker right there. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Online at Michelli.com. That's Michelli.com. Check the website if you want a full resource of all the different products and services they offer. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement. You can find it at the website at Michelli.com. Michelli.com. All right, it's after further review. I don't have time to do this right now. I didn't expect to spend that much time on the Skeletons. What? What? They can't hear you, Muse. You got to open your mic.
I didn't mean to re-interject. That was funny. The Skeletons. It's ridiculous. So I think it's funny.
I think it's great.
I mean, yeah, it is. It's just that we're all calling them that now. It's so stupid, but it's great.
I want to talk about Xavier Thomas, who is a Mississippi State wide receiver from Louisiana who hit the portal, and LSU is targeting him. But let me give myself some time. And Muse has to do Tigers in the pros, but I want to give myself some room to dance here. So let me break so we stay on time. I'll come back. I'll talk about Xavier Thomas, and Muse will have Tigers in the pros. I think LSU has got, after I've really dug into it today, they've got to go get a productive wide receiver in the portal. It might be Xavier Thomas. We'll get to that next. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time, or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001. Hey, y'all, remember, time is running out here to nominate a family for River City's 1 Hour Air's Adopt a Family promotion that they're doing this Christmas. They're calling it Operation Christmas Spirit 2023. The deadline to nominate a family, to get your entry in, is December the 10th. So today is the 6th. So you get 4 days. You got 4 more days to get your entry in. If you know a family that's maybe struggling, that's less fortunate, that could use a helping hand this holiday, River City's 1 Hour Air is going to help make Christmas brighter for 3 families in our area. If you want to nominate a family, you can get all the info on how to do that at their Facebook page, River City's 1 Hour Air. Or you can email that nomination to christmas@onehourbr.com. That's christmas@onehourbr.com for River City's 1 Hour Air.
I'm Chris Nakamoto, and here's what we're working on for our stories on WBRZ Channel 2 tonight. Officials from the city parish toured the juvenile detention facility this morning, looking at problems as discussions are being held about what it will take to come up with the money for a new facility. Last month, 2 separate escapes took place involving violent juveniles, raising questions about what's being done. Hear what they had to say. I'm Chris Nakamoto from WBRZ. Watch more tonight on WBRZ Channel 2.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Wrapping up hour number 2, Muso. Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
All right, so yesterday evening, the San Francisco 49ers, they added Logan Ryan to their team. So the corresponding move is they have cut running back Ty Davis Price. Appeared in one game this season to TDP, 6 carries, 21 yards. Was against the Cowboys. 6 games as a rookie and 70 offensive snaps and 23 on special teams in those 6 games. Of course, a third-round pick out of LSU. The 49ers made him in the 2022 draft. We'll keep you updated for the next landing spot, the next challenge.
Was he on their active roster or practice squad?
Ty Davis Price. He was a practice squad after just that one game this season against Dallas. More NFL news. Derek Stingley Jr. named the AFC Defensive Player of the Week. Not at all really that surprising. 2-interception day on Sunday. 4 interceptions in the last 3 games for Sting. Now that honor to go along with it. One G League game from earlier today to get you caught up on. Darius Days for the Valley Vipers there. 14 points total. Shot 2 of 7 from 3, 5 of 11 from the floor total. 4 rebounds for Days. They were facing the Oklahoma City Blue. KJ Williams back in a starting role in this one and back recording double-doubles. 17 points, 11 boards for KJ. Shot 86% from the floor, missing just 1 shot. That is Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, online at lmfj.com, lmfj.com. Gentlemen, if you're thinking of popping the question, of course, do so with the help of our friends at Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, helping Baton Rouge and all of Louisiana get engaged for more than 40 years. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. Another former Louisiana prep standout who left the state is in the portal. Shea Dixon had the news earlier today. Mississippi State wide receiver Xavion Thomas hit in the portal. Shea notes that not only Thomas was a receiver at Mississippi State, but also an electric return man who had 500-plus receiving yards this season. Prepped at John Ehret in New Orleans, was not an LSU target coming out of high school. He was the number 49 wide receiver in the class and 15th at the position in Louisiana. So not one of those guys who, when he signed in 2021, that had a ton of interest from LSU. But keep in mind, I know I keep saying this, but that 21 class for LSU, the receivers that they signed in 21, when you look at Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas, Chris Hilton, Jack Besh, you had Deion Smith in that class. Remember, was the number 1 player in the state of Mississippi, who was here for a year, left, went JUCO, and is now at Ole Miss. You were Aaron. I'm missing another receiver off the top of my head. One of the guys that Keon Coleman was in that class, and then the other receiver from New Orleans who's now at Florida State, who I'm blanking on right now. But anyway, it was a massive receiver year in Louisiana. So a lot of good players got passed on. I mean, LSU passed on Keon Coleman. But I remember, Keon Coleman was a Tulane commit who finally got a Power 5 offer when Michigan State stepped up. And then he just blossomed and became a freak show and is going to be a first-round pick. Anyway. So it's my point in saying is it was understandable why LSU didn't sign Xavion Thomas coming out of John Ehret. But when I look at LSU and their receiver room next year, and I am assuming you are losing Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas. Malik Neighbors is leading the country in receiving yards. Brian Thomas is leading the country in receiving touchdowns. You were losing both of those guys to the draft. The big question is Kyron Lacey. Will Kyron Lacey come back for his final season in Baton Rouge? If he does, then you have the guy that is the established veteran guy who is most likely to emerge into that number 1 role. unless if someone passes him and he's sort of in that complimentary number 2 role. But keep in mind, after Kyron Lacy, this is the production you have returning. Chris Hilton has 19 career receptions. After Kyron Lacy, Chris Hilton is your most experienced receiver with 19 receptions. Aaron Anderson, who played 1 game for Bama last year, has 12 career receptions. Shelton Sampson, Kyle Parker, Jalen Brown, Kai Preon, none. So understand, between Hilton and Anderson, they've combined for 31 career receptions. They've combined you would have, if Kyron Lacy doesn't return, you would have a combined 31 career receptions returning. Look at the 2 Louisiana prep stars who left the state, went other places in the SEC, who are now in the portal, who LSU could target. Xavion Thomas, Mississippi State, and Will Shepard at Vanderbilt. Xavion Thomas, in his career, is 2 seasons at State, 42 catches, 507 yards, and a touchdown. Also, the primary punt returner at Mississippi State the last 2 years, and Lord knows LSU could use an experienced punt returner. Can I get an amen from the congregation? And then Will Shepard has 47 career receptions. Shepard was at Mandeville High, was a great high school player, but again, he's in a log jam of a class, went up to Vanderbilt where he's been a productive player. Now he's in the portal with the possibility of coming home. I love the young talent LSU signed in last year's class. Shelton Sampson was a 5-star. Kyle Parker was a really good player. We saw Jalen Brown make some remarkable catches in fall camp. Had a great catch and run in that open scrimmage in Tiger Stadium in fall camp that we got to see. Those are 2 young guys that you love. There are 3 young guys you love their upside. Kai Preon as well is a different style receiver, smaller, a little more versatile juke. Think Aaron Anderson. But I love the talent there. But similar to like we talk about with quarterback, if you have the opportunity to fill a need instead of leaving it up to chance, do it. And then you hope one of those young guys steps up and just steals the job and becomes awesome, the way Malik Neighbors did last year, or the way Malik Neighbors did in 21 after Kayshon Boutte's injury. So, yeah, maybe it's Shelton Sampson or Kyle Parker or Jalen Brown. Maybe one of those guys steps up and is awesome next year. That'd be phenomenal to see. And hopefully Kyron Lacy comes back and Chris Hilton has a great year and Aaron Anderson steps up and you're just looking for somebody to be your 4. Hopefully. But I don't know that you necessarily count on that. So give yourself options. The great part about this is you don't need to go into the portal to get 2, 3, 4 receivers. You really just need 1. You need to add 1 guy in this receiver room that's got experience, so it's not a whole bunch of really green players. Maybe it's Will Shepard, maybe it's Xavion Thomas. And the double benefit of Thomas is not only is he an experienced receiver in the SEC, but he can return punts as well. So we'll keep an eye on those. Will Shepard, Xavion Thomas hit the portal today. 2 guys that prepped in Louisiana, stayed in the SEC, but left Louisiana. Now possibly the opportunity to come home. Bookmark that one. Okay. Hump Day Show is brought to you by Pluckers. 2 locations, Nicholson and Bluebonnet, dining, carryout, or delivery with 28 flavors of award-winning jumbo chicken wings, ice cold draft beer, full-service bar, and sports on TV. It's Pluckers. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird. We'll get to Pluckers trivia here in about 30 minutes. When we come back, LSU's offensive line, big honor coming their way.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by South Point Volkswagen and SouthPointVW.com. As we put a button here on hour number 2, I love telling you about South Point Volkswagen, especially this time of year, because Sign Then Drive is going on. Sign Then Drive is the single best sale that they have all year over at South Point Volkswagen. It is easy. 0 down, 0 due at signing, no first month's payment, no security deposit. You sign your name, and you drive away in a brand-new vehicle from South Point Volkswagen. With Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer, you have the greatest selection as well. If it's the Atlas, the 3-row 7-seater family SUV, the Cross Sport, which is what I drive, it's basically the Atlas that takes out the 3rd row. The Taos, which is the fun-sized SUV. You can test drive one today. All of the different models they've got in there at South Point Volkswagen. The Tiguan, the ID4. Check it out today at South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland or online at southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction?
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Cowboys coach Mike McCarthy, diagnosed with appendicitis, underwent successful surgery today. He is expected to be released from the hospital at some point tonight. He anticipates coaching in Sunday's marquee matchup against the Eagles. Bills linebacker Von Miller expected to play Sunday against the Chiefs while facing domestic violence charges in an alleged incident involving the mother of his children. The team does not anticipate he'll be put on the commissioner's exempt list. Once again, the Jets are going back to Zach Wilson. 2 weeks after his latest benching, Wilson announced as the starting quarterback Sunday against the Texans by coach Robert Saleh.
Zach gives us our best chance to win, and giving him another opportunity to go prove that. He's fired up. Like I said on Monday, he came into my office. He wants the ball. And he's excited about getting this opportunity to finish the season strong.
Despite 6 turnovers the last 2 games, quarterback Josh Dobbs starts for the Vikings at the Raiders Sunday. NHL forward Patrick Kane makes his Red Wings debut tomorrow night against the Sharks. Potential milestone night for Iowa star guard Caitlin Clark enters tonight's game against Iowa State 22 points away from 3,000 in her career.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
Let's ride!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Musu. And Mr. Toby Tom Blake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. Oh, by the way, it's hump day.
It's hump day.
Hump day.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
All right, y'all.
Hump day.
Feeling good.
It's hump day.
One more hour.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
And I get to go home and pack.
Hump day.
Wheels up tomorrow for New York City.
It's hump day.
New York City.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Going to watch the coronation of JD5.
Hump day.
Build the statue, y'all.
It's hump day.
Jaden gonna win the Heisman.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We'll be there to see it.
Hump day.
Friday's AFR from Legends there on West 33rd.
It's hump day.
Saturday, we'll have the Heisman preview show.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Walking you right up to the coronation.
Hump day.
Can you give me the horns? That feels appropriate here. Same pot. Oh, it worked. I liked it. It worked. I think it worked.
It's hump day.
Mickey Loomis is teeing off on Fans and Media.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Hey, Mick, how about a little self-awareness? Your team stinks. Everybody's pissed. Shut up.
Hump day.
I mean, come on. What do we do?
It's hump day.
Mike Denbrock said, bleep you, Aggies.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
I got your yell leader right here.
Hump day.
Yell this.
It's hump day.
Gig that.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Mike Denbrock, 3-year extension to stay at LSU.
Hump day.
All right, let's get going. We're going to head up to Charlotte here in a little more than 10 minutes from right now. Mark Yarbro, ESPN Radio there in Charlotte, covers the Panthers. Find out how it's going there. Interim head coach Chris Tabor trying to get going there with the Panthers. But the Saints, they'll save their season. And they get the worst team in the league coming in. This is a good opportunity to do it. So we'll see if they can. We'll head up to Charlotte again here in about 15 minutes. It is, as the saying often goes, to the victor go the spoils. And when you are the best offense in college football, you lead college football in scoring and total offense and average yard per play and all that sort of stuff, you are going to be up for and win a lot of awards. Jaden Daniels is going to absolutely clean up. We've talked plenty about Malik Neighbors up for the Blitnikoff. And the LSU offensive line, we learned today, is one of the finalists for the Joe Moore Award. Of course, LSU won this back in 2019. This is a collective award. It's not an individual person award. It goes to an entire group, the entire offensive line. The award itself is massive as well. It's like the size of a piano. And you get to the team so the award moves year to year. You have it for the year that you've won it, but the top of the award stays with sort of like as the representative trophy with the team that wins it for that year. But anyway, LSU won the Joe Moore Award as the best offensive line in college football back in 2019, and now they're a finalist again this year for the Joe Moore Award. And it's so fitting and appropriate because the day Brian Kelly was hired, we sat here, and this wasn't unique to this show. I mean, everybody talked about it, but the two positions, more than any other, that Brian Kelly has recruited, developed, and pumped into the NFL at an elite level are tight end and offensive line. And we ran through the long list of pros and all-pros and first-round picks on the offensive line that he had at Notre Dame, and really a relative dearth of that here. Louisiana has produced amazing talent at defensive line, at cornerback, at receiver, at running back, skill positions, where largely this state has been deficient, has been elite offensive line talent and elite quarterback talent over the years. And honestly, at linebacker, too, it's been a little hit or miss. But you can go through the years and remember, well, you had like Cam Robinson, who didn't come here. You had Andrew Whitworth, who did. I mean, you can go through the years and remember the elite offensive linemen in this state, because there just haven't been a ton of them. But you've kind of hit this really good pace now where Will Campbell is a 5-star. Emory Jones. You got Zalance Hurd. You've got this little run of really good offensive linemen. And Brian Kelly's developed them. He's supplemented. They've started to maximize, along with Brad Davis, the guys that were here. And this offensive line has been really good. Like Brian Kelly was asked about it last month on one of those Monday press conferences about the importance of starting there with this offense.
It was job one. It was the first thing that I had identified that we needed to address before we got into anything else was the offensive line. I just feel like you can't put an offense together until you put your offensive line together. And then we'll build it out from there.
Last year, LSU's offensive line was atrocious. There's no other way to say it. You could look at whatever metric you want. Sacks allowed, tackles for loss allowed, rushing offense, all of the stuff that you want to look at. LSU's offensive line was one of the worst in college football last year. On whatever efficiency metric you wanted to look at, they were one of the worst. They used 6 different line combinations in the first 8 games. So much of the reason Jaden Daniels was a one look and take off running was because that after that one look, he had an edge rusher breathing down his neck because the offensive line was atrocious. But they finally got to a point where you had your freshman bookend tackles, you allow them to get experience, you settle on Charles Turner at center, and you found your starting guards. And once you established your starting 5, then they were able to build continuity and experience. And when 6 of your top 7 guys from a year ago returned, including your entire starting 5, it allowed you to carry all of that into this season. And as big a reason for Jaden Daniels' success as the work he's put in on his timing, his accuracy, decision-making, study, game film, everything, it's been the development of this offensive line. Charles Turner was on the 2019 team that won the Joe Moore Award. He's still there. He's a 5th-year player now. Miles Frazier is a 4th-year player in college football. Garrett Dellinger's a 3-year starter. You got both of your starting tackles back with Will Campbell and Emory Jones. And by the way, both those dudes, when their day comes, are going to be high NFL draft picks. Like, not only do you have experienced veteran guys, but you got super talented guys that have been developed. There were a lot of y'all at the beginning of last season that wanted to kick Brad Davis to the curb. But the reality was he had some young pups and a bare cupboard. But they got that talent in here. He's developed it. Now they're one of the best offensive lines in the country. Charles Turner, as I mentioned, was on that 2019 team. He compared this line to that one.
The group in 2019, we had a lot of veteran leadership. This group, we certainly have that. Miles Frazier, Garrett Dellinger, they played a lot of ball. And then we had those 2 freshman tackles, Emory and Will. They played a lot of ball last year. So, it's just really about continuity. And I would say from 2019 to now, we have that same amount of continuity. We all care about each other. It's a loving room, a caring room. I would say that would be the most comparable to 2019.
Yeah, man, you had Austin Deculus and Sadiq Charles. You had Lloyd Cushenberry, who became an NFL draft pick as well. Damian Lewis, who became an NFL draft pick. You look at this room and you can realize, Will Campbell and Emory Jones are likely going to be. Will Campbell will be a first-round pick next year. Emory Jones could be. We'll see if he stays at tackle or moves into guard. But man, Charles Turner has turned himself into a legitimate SEC center. Garrett Dellinger's been a 3-year starter. I don't know that he's going to be a first-round pick. I mean, you have to be a really dominant guard to be a first-round pick. He's not going to be that. But is he a draftable prospect? Yes, and he could come back for another year. So, that's another reason why, as you kind of look to next year on that offensive line, it's another reason for optimism that you're not going to see a massive drop-off. Listen, I'm not telling you I think next year LSU leads the country in total offense and scoring again, but you don't have to. This team needed to get to 9 wins because the defense was so bad. We're all hoping, expecting the defense is going to be better. But even if the offense doesn't perform at the level it did this year, which I don't suspect it will, if it's Garrett Nussmeier or whoever wins a starting quarterback job, you're going to be a fully functioning, competent offense because your offensive line is going to be great again. All 5 starters could return. And if someone doesn't, someone likely won't. We're all expecting Zalance Hurd's going to have one of those starting spots next year. Maybe it's right tackle and Emory Jones moves inside to guard. However that may look. And you're targeting guys in the portal as well. your offensive line is, again, going to be veteran, deep, talented, experienced. And as a result, it's going to help your running game. It's going to protect your quarterback, give him pocket timing. Brian Kelly said it. He knew it was the first thing they had to do. For your offense to function, you have to have a good offensive line. And LSU didn't a year ago. This year, they got one of the best, maybe the best in the country. We'll find out if they win the Joe Moore Award. But they're deserving of the recognition because they've been awesome this year. It's a huge part of LSU's progression year 1 to year 2 and why there's reason for optimism next year, even with Jaden Daniels heading off to the NFL. All right, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. We're brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com, theantiagingclinics.com. If you want to look and feel like your younger self, y'all, don't wait until the new year to start that new year resolution. You want to lose weight? Don't gain weight during the holidays. They got semaglutide. You've heard about semaglutide. It's generic for Ozempic. They've got semaglutide at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. It may be great for you if you want to drop a few pounds. Go for that consultation. Learn more online at theantiagingclinics.com. Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. That's theantiagingclinics.com. All right, we'll do some Pluckers trivia bottom of this hour. Otter will be here for Otter Locks coming up in about 30 minutes from right now. When we come back, let's head up to Charlotte. Mark Yarbro covers the Panthers, does radio up there in Charlotte on ESPN Charlotte. We'll get a check-in on the Saints opponent this week when we come back. It's AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Go to GordonGives.com. Tomorrow's the last day, y'all. Tomorrow's the deadline. Been so pleased to be able to tell you about this over the last month. And obviously what Gordon does there with the bike giveaway every year is just it's a great thing that he does, not only in this community in Baton Rouge, but across the entire state of Louisiana, where he gives away more than 400 bicycles to children in need in Christmas to make their Christmas a little brighter. You love to see things like that. It's the reason we're so proud to be partnered with Gordon. Not only has he helped injured people in our state for more than 30 years, he's a good man with a good heart that gives back because of the abundance that he has, and he gives back to our state in so many ways, and this is a great example of it. Every year around the Christmas holidays, giving away more than 400 bikes to kiddos that are less fortunate around the state. Remember, the deadline is tomorrow, the 7th. The deadline is the 7th to enter. So go to GordonGives.com, GordonGives.com, GordonGives.com. Fill out the form on the homepage and help make somebody's Christmas a little brighter. Get Gordon and get it done.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance jobs, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. I think we're rocking and rolling.
Hey, boat owners, check it out. It is the holiday season, which means it's time to buy yourself a gift by taking your boat to the next level with our friends at Front to Back Boat Service. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your boat and get it ready for that warmer weather, whether that's trolling motors, HD sonar, anything and everything. The Sherman family's been at it for 30 years, and Devin's going to take you through 30 more. Find them on Facebook at Front to Back Boat Service or go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
His name was Cain. He had a horse along the countryside. I saw him ride.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
When you're struggling as bad as the Saints are, a good remedy would be the worst team in the league, and that's what the Panthers are. They're 1-11. They got an interim head coach, and they'll be in the Dome on Sunday. Mark Yarbro covers the Panthers, does radio up there in Charlotte at 7:30 the game. That's ESPN Charlotte. Good enough to spend a couple of minutes with us here. Hey, Mark, thanks, man. How are you?
Matt, what the hell do you guys know about struggling down there? Let me tell you about struggling, my friend. How you doing, Matt?
Apparently I'm doing way better than you are, Mark.
It has been torture, Matt. 1-11's no fun. Even during the holiday season, it's just been torture.
What was your reaction to firing Frank Reich?
Man, I wasn't surprised. I all along thought he would make it to the end of the season, but it just became apparent that it wasn't going to happen. This offense never got on track. It wasn't going to get on track, and it was just a point of the longer it dragged out, the players are going to be asked about it every week. Frank Reich was going to be asked about it every week. So David Tepper did what he does, and that's fire people, and he fired Frank Reich.
Even after 11 games, you knew definitively it was never going to work. You knew that after 11 games.
No, man, we've watched this offense here in Charlotte all year, and look, Frank Reich started as a play caller. 6 games into it, he turns it over to Thomas Brown. It doesn't look any better, and then Frank Reich decides to take it back because he knew, if I'm going down with me calling the plays. He tried that. It didn't get any better. And it just got to a point where David Tepper had no choice. And again, that's what he's good at. He's not good at much when it comes to his sports teams, but he's good at firing people. He's done that quite a bit between the Panthers and his soccer team. So that's what he did.
No DJ Moore, no Christian McCaffrey. Could I make the argument, Mark, that it was premature because Bryce Young doesn't have any talent around him?
You can make that argument, Matt, but look, you knew when you made the deal to move up to take Bryce Young and you gave up DJ Moore, you knew it was going to be a problem. But they brought in Adam Thielen, and look, to Adam Thielen's defense, he's done all you could ask him to do. He has done a nice job. He just hasn't gotten any help, whether it was Terrace Marshall, who's been, they drafted him 3 years ago. He's been inactive the last 2 games, a healthy scratch. Jonathan Mingo has really not done much. The free agents that they brought in here, Miles Sanders at running back, Hayden Hurst, who unfortunately now is dealing with a concussion and has some serious issues apparently. That neither one of those guys have panned out. And we haven't even talked about the offensive line yet, Matt, which has been a disaster. So you put all those things together, and Bryce Young just has not progressed to this point. It all works together, Matt, and it just has not been a good rookie season at all for Bryce.
Mark Yarbrough is with us afternoons on 7:30 the game. There it's ESPN Charlotte. Is there anything this team you could say does well through 12 games?
Besides lose, they punt well.
Okay.
They kick well. Eddie Pinheiro and Johnny Hecker both have done a nice job. Matt, offensively, no. There's not one thing that I can tell you that they do well on offense. Defense, look, they have moments when they play okay, but they against the better competition offensively, they have struggled. And even last week against Tampa, there were a couple big breakdowns which cost them. So I wish I could tell you one thing that they do really well, but there's not. And Matt, that's why they're 1-11. They're just a bad football team.
Yeah. they're a bad football team at 1-11, and this line is still only 5. So the Saints aren't a great football team by any stretch. So give me a reason. Let me actually ask this way before I delve deeper into this game. What has been the player reaction to Chris Tabor? Like, has the mood, the vibe around the organization changed at all?
Yeah, it's funny, Matt. We talk to Panther writers every week on our show, and we've asked them that question. We asked them that question last week. Has there been any difference with Chris Tabor? And really, no. And that's the thing, Matt. It wasn't like these guys had quit on Frank Reich and they had rolled over, and now Chris Tabor's here, and all of a sudden, there's a pep in their step, and they're playing harder. No, it's just they're just bad. So that the effort hasn't been an issue. I noticeably last week watching the Tampa game, I couldn't really see anything any different than what I saw under Frank Reich. It's just they're bad. The talent is not there. And again, I hate to keep going back to it, but that's why they're 1-11. It's really not effort. It's just they need more talent, and they need Bryce Young to play better. They need an offensive line to play better. Unfortunately, the offensive line is not going to get better this year. The receivers that he has aren't going to get better this year, and that's something that whoever the GM is, which I personally think should not be Scott Fitter going forward, but whoever the GM ends up being, that's their task in the offseason. We got to find a head coach, and you've got to start finding some better talent to put around Bryce Young.
The Texans have one win. It was the Panthers have one win. It was week 7 against the Texans. How did they win that game?
That was a day that C.J. Stroud actually probably played his worst game, and it's not like he played terrible. He just did not make the plays that we have seen him make the rest of the games this season, and that was the game, Matt. If you remember, Bryce Young led them down the field. Now, the Texans had some defensive penalties on that last drive that helped them get in the field goal range, but that was the game, even though his stats weren't through the roof, that people said, all right, there's Bryce Young's first moment in the NFL. He led them down the field, led them in position to kick a field goal to win the game, which they did. And he thought, okay, this was the beginning of something. But unfortunately, that's been the high water mark for Bryce Young this year. So it wasn't a game. I think they won 15-13. It wasn't like they went out there and put up tons of yards and scored a bunch of points. That was a day where the defense did their job, and they did just enough offensively to win. Mark
Yarbro is with us. He's on Twitter at Mark Yarbro, Yarbro. If you want to give him a follow, 7:30 the game there, ESPN. Well, down here would be like Brough. You know
exactly.
What I mean?
It's funny, man. I'll go somewhere and I'll spell my name, and they keep adding letters. I went, nope, you're done. That's all they gave me. You can't add any letters to it. So,
what if there is a blueprint for the Panthers on Sunday? What is it?
Run the football. And that was the one thing they did fairly well last week, Matt, was run the football. For the life of me, I don't know why on 2 consecutive plays when they had a 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1, they decided to throw the ball. They didn't complete either pass, and they ended up turning the ball over on downs. But run the ball, that was the one thing they were able to do fairly well. Chuba Hubbard had his first 100-yard rushing game last week against Tampa. So I think you run the football. If you can do that, maybe that sets up Bryce Young to make some plays with play action. But if they're going to win this game, it'll be running the football. And then on the flip side, defensively, whether it's against Derek Carr, Jameis Winston, trying to keep the game close enough to where the Panthers, maybe like the Texans recipe, have enough to find a way to win it in the end.
Saints, Falcons, Packers, Jags, Bucks. Do the Panthers win again this year?
I want to say next week in Atlanta. Atlanta comes here next week. I feel like that's a game I think they could win. Weeks ago, I may have given you the Packers game as a game, but right now, that game looks like it could get ugly. Jordan Love's playing out of his mind right now, and that's going to be a Packer team playing for a playoff spot. That offense is clicking, so that's a game I don't think they can win anymore. Jacksonville, whether it's Trevor Lawrence or C.J. Beathard or you fill in the blank, Mark Brunell, I don't care. I don't think they can win down there. And then the last game against Tampa, maybe that's a game here, the last game of the year they could win. But 1, maybe 2 at the best. I do not see them winning this Sunday down there in the Dome, though, Matt.
Okay, Saints are a 5-point home favorite. Boy, if the Saints are going to keep any glimmer of hope alive to make the playoffs. I got to win this one against Carolina. Mark, before you go, you did allude to the future, and that's probably, quite honestly, it is the more interesting conversation around Carolina at this point. You're at 1-11, the season's over. I don't assume that Chris Tabor is going to be retained as the head coach, but what are some of the conversations that you all are having about the future of the Panthers and being in the NFC South? There's a lot of interest in what happens there.
Yeah, and the question is, how attractive is this job? I personally, right now, I don't care how many job openings become available. I would put it at the very bottom. And it's just, you're going to get paid, perhaps, but do you want to come work for David Tepper? Do you want to come to an organization where you don't have a first-round draft pick? You've seen the turnover that David Tepper has put his coaches through here in his tenure here as owner. Yes, the division makes it somewhat attractive because right now it doesn't feel like there's that one dominating team. But you and the GM, whoever the coach may end up being, you got a lot of work to do. And, for instance, Ben Johnson last year was a guy that the Panthers coveted. He wouldn't even come here for an interview. Now, they seem to think this go around he would be interested. If you're Ben Johnson, if you weren't interested last year, Matt, why would you be interested in this job now? It feels like it's a worse job than it was last year.
Well, Frank Reich did get 30. Frank Reich did get
the question.
No,
right
I got
there.
the answer. If Frank Reich's getting $30 million to not work, look, being a fired coach is really, really good work if you can get it.
Well, then this is the spot, man. This is the spot for you. If you want to be a fired coach and get paid, maybe it is an attractive job. But if you want to come here and win, and there's people that you've seen Bill Belichick's name. So why in the world would Bill Belichick want to come here and work for David Tepper? I don't get that. Jim Harbaugh's name's obviously been thrown out there as well. But I feel like they are going to, have to get an assistant coach. And again, Ben Johnson's who they want. But if I'm Ben Johnson, there's no way in the world I would take this job when there are other better jobs out there.
He is Mark Yarbro. 7:30 the game. That's ESPN Charlotte. They're up in the Queen City. Hey, man, we appreciate it. Enjoy the game on Sunday.
Matt, take care, buddy. Good to talk to you.
It's our pleasure. Good stuff there from Mark Yarbrough. You can tell, man, they have, and rightfully, they've punted to next year and what the future. Maybe it's Ben Johnson. We'll see. But I think every organization at some point has been there where you realize it's less about playing out the string and more about what the future is going to look like. That's where they are in Charlotte. But and this is not a good team. It's why they're 1-11. He said it very clearly. The other part of that, though, is the guys playing are still getting paid, and nobody likes to lose, and you could be sick of losing. And if the Saints who are hurt, literally they're injured, are going into this game thinking they can cakewalk and feeling bad for themselves, that's when you get popped. So Saints got to be locked in this week to go take care of business against a really struggling team. All right, we're brought to you by our friends over at Pure Restoration. Mold Zero is now Pure Restoration. Mold Zero is now Pure Restoration. Mold Zero is now Pure Restoration. Go to purerestoration.com, pure-restoration.com, pure-restoration.com. You get kill mold, remove odor. It's made simple. Patented non-toxic dry fog treatment. The Army Corps of Engineers has a full write-up about the efficacy of this patented non-toxic dry fog treatment. They can kill your mold, remove odor, sanitize your building quicker and in a more cost-effective manner than traditional remediation. Full menu of services. If you need demo and build back, Pure Restoration can do that as well. From single-family home to gigantic commercial buildings. I've told you there was a 200,000 square foot space that they dry fogged and had reoccupied within 24 hours. It's incredible. It's Pure Restoration. Pure-restoration.com. Pure-restoration.com. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're with us. We'll give you a pick on the Saints and Panthers when we get to Sunday. But maybe it is just that I'm gun shy because I've watched the Saints team all year. And yes, when the Panthers played Dallas, they got blown out 33-10. When they played Miami, they lost 42-21. When they played Detroit on the road, 42-24. When they played the better teams on their schedule, yeah, man, they gotten waxed. They played the Bears and lost 16-13. They played Tampa this week and lost by 3, 21-18. they've gotten outclassed by the better teams. The Saints are not one of the better teams. So, I mean, it feels like Vegas has this right. You're going to be looking at a one-score game. And it's why the NFL is always fascinating, because you come down to these end game scenarios where you're a strip sack, scoop and score, pick six away from a game flipping. Saints at 5-7 have no margin for error. Atlanta, staring up at Atlanta at 6-6, and Tampa's got a tiebreaker over you as well. So the Saints actually at 5-7 are third in the division. This is one you have to get this game. If you don't win this game and you drop to 5-8, you are going to have to win out to make the playoffs. So you give yourself no margin for error if you lose this game. All right. It's after further review. We'll knock out a break. It is Wednesday. Wednesday show is brought to you by Pluckers. It means we do Pluckers trivia. So we'll lob some questions at Muse. He'll get them all wrong because, it's what we do here on Pluckers trivia. Muse gets them all wrong. But we'll do it anyway. We'll have a good time. Otter locks in about 15 minutes from right now. Find out what we're betting on tonight. Glad you're hanging out with us. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Hey, let me just remind you about Pluckers. It tells me right here I have to do that right now. Pluckers, Nicholson and Bluebonnet, dine-in, carry-out, or delivery with 28 flavors of award-winning jumbo chicken wings. Maybe you don't love wings. Remember, they got something on the menu for everyone. They got great sandwiches and salads and burgers over at Pluckers as well. Of course, they're known for award-winning jumbo chicken wings. And if you're a red-blooded American, you love buffalo wings. Who doesn't? You love chicken wings. That's Pluckers. That's what they do. Nicholson, just south of campus, and Bluebonnet, right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. I'll tell you one thing I hate about going to other places. When you go to other places and order wings, is little bitty wings. Little bitty tiny wings, not at Pluckers. Jumbo chicken wings. Like 10 wings at Pluckers, it's a lot different than 10 wings at other places. It's Pluckers. 2 locations. Nicholson and Bluebonnet. Dine-in, carry-out, or delivery. Uber Eats, DoorDash. Remember, on Wednesday at Pluckers, it's trivia. So tonight, 7:30 Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock Nicholson. Test your knowledge, eat wings, drink beer, win Pluckers gift cards. It's Pluckers if you don't like our wings. We'll give you the bird.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary. For those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Hey, boat owners, check it out. It is the holiday season, which means it's time to buy yourself a gift by taking your boat to the next level with our friends at Front to Back Boat Service. Now is the perfect time to upgrade your boat and get it ready for that warmer weather, whether that's trolling motors, HD sonar, anything and everything. The Sherman family's been at it for 30 years, and Devin's going to take you through 30 more. Find them on Facebook at Front to Back Boat Service or go to fronttobackboatservice.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Another Texas A&M starter has jumped in the portal. I don't think any of you are going to be crying for Texas A&M, obviously, but this is another, not just another player, this is another starter. Cornerback Tyreek Chappell has entered the transfer portal. He's a 3-year starter at cornerback for the Aggies. I mean, keep in mind what has happened over there. Again, like, I am not saying be sympathetic. I am merely pointing out that this isn't just A&M losing players with a coaching change where there's going to be this natural attrition, or at the end of a year, backups leave because they're looking for a place to play. I mean, this is just a stunning exodus. This is a lot like what happened to LSU after 2021 when they went in that bowl game. Everybody with 38 scholarship players available, whatever it was. I think they had about 50 scholarship players on the roster, but there were guys that had opted out of the bowl game. Some were injured, that sort of thing. But still, Tyreek Chappell, that's a 3-year starter. Walter Nolan, Fidel Diggs, those are your best defensive linemen. Micah and LT Overton, brothers on the defensive line, entered the portal. Chase Basanta started every game at right tackle this year. Jake Johnson hit the portal. Jordan Gilbert, your starting safety, is in the portal. When Gilbert got hurt, Jacoby Matthews took over from him. There's word Jacoby Matthews could enter the portal. Max Johnson already hit the portal and left. Raymond Cottrell, y'all, their whole freaking team is leaving. It's Mike Elko has a massive rebuild. Now, and maybe this helps to put some context on what Brian Kelly was able to do year one, because essentially what's happening in College Station is what Brian Kelly inherited. Like what Mike Elko is inheriting is what Brian Kelly inherited. Now, A&M didn't have back-to-back, sub-500 seasons or 500 seasons. They went 5-7 and then 7-5. So they were a little bit better. One of those years at LSU was the COVID year where they were 5-5, which technically, I guess, you were 5-5. If you would have had your non-conference games, you maybe end up at 7-5. But either way, you understand the point. Comparable. What Mike Elko is inheriting is a lot like what Brian Kelly was looking at before the 2021 season. So another 3-year starter at cornerback. LSU needs a starter at cornerback. Boom, there's one. Go get him. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. Otter Locks is coming up. Of course, you can place your bets on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. DraftKings, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. The play-in tournament, the semis, are tomorrow. If you want to bet, you can do it at the DraftKings Sportsbook. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Make a $5 NBA bet. Any $5 NBA bet, they'll give you $150 in bonus bets instantly. That's for new customers. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. Make a $5 NBA bet. They'll give you $150 in bonus bets instantly. Win or lose, it's only at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Otter's coming up. He'll probably give us a college basketball plays tonight, which college basketball season is rolling. Got basketball every night of the week now. NBA, NHL, it's all there for you. You want to bet, you want to get in the game, you want to have some fun, do it with the DraftKings Sportsbook. At the promo code Baton Rouge, DraftKings, the crown is yours. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana, select parishes only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms. Licensing partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-426-2537. All right, let's do it, Muse. Let's do a little Pluckers trivia.
It's time for Pluckers Trivia. How many will Musso get wrong today? Pluckers Trivia. Every Wednesday night, 7:30 at Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock at Nicholson.
All right, here we go, Muse. You ready?
As ready as I'll ever be.
All right, in the game of pool.
All right.
Not a swimming pool, where you
have billiards, yeah.
No, pool. In the game of pool, what color is the one ball?
Oh, that's annoying because I want to say yellow, but yellow is the 9 ball. Well, no. Yellow is the 1. 9's got the stripe. I'm going to go yellow.
You got it. Here we go. We're off to a hell of a good start there, Muse. Not getting shut out today. All right, Muse. A Charlie Brown Christmas received the Primetime Emmy for Outstanding Children's Program, in addition to what other award that honors the most powerful, enlightening, and invigorating stories in TV, radio, online media? We're looking for the name of the award.
Oh, okay.
They won a Primetime Emmy.
Yeah.
In addition to what other award that honors the most powerful, entertaining, enlightening, invigorating stories in TV, radio, or online media?
I have no idea.
Just throw out the name of an award.
Yeah, a Golden Globe. That's not it.
No, it's not it.
Yeah.
Those are the movies. This
That's
is the Peabody.
I've heard of that, yeah.
Peabody, yes.
Yeah.
One more, Muse. Here we go. Now you're back on track.
We're 1-1.
There we go.
have a winning day here.
You're back on track.
Yeah.
All right, Muse. The Southern Cross is a constellation that appears on what country's flag? The Southern Cross is a constellation that appears on what country's flag?
I will go with... Yeah, I actually don't have a real good guess here, but we're going to go with Venezuela.
You weren't even the right continent.
Australia.
Australia. Let's put another shrimp on the barbie.
Hey, okay, Australia.
Australia.
It sure does.
That's what we're looking for.
It sure does, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah, that's what happened. That's the thing. All right. Pluckers Trivia, 7:30 Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock Nicholson. Y'all get by, spin the prize wheel, eat some wings, drink some beer, test your knowledge, win some Pluckers gift cards. Pluckers, if you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird. If you missed the news earlier today, 2 relevant stories here. Number 1, Mike Denbrock was pursued by Texas A&M. That, according to Football Scoop. Denbrock rebuffed the Aggies and has agreed to a contract extension with LSU, a 3-year deal, terms of which have not yet been disclosed. But Football Scoop reporting Mike Denbrock a 3-year extension to stay at LSU. First reported, the extension was first reported by Ross Dellinger. The A&M interest was first reported by Football Scoop. And then Jackson McGowan, the freshman tight end, has entered the transfer portal after just 1 season in Baton Rouge. He was part of that 3 tight end class a season ago that included Mac Markway and Kamorian Pimpton. But Jackson McGowan, he'll hit the portal and will thin out that tight end room just a little bit. Makes sense. You got Mason Taylor coming back for his junior season. Mason Taylor! There we go. You have Mac Markway, of course, Kamorian Pimpton. Then you've got Tradez Green coming in as well from Zachary, who's just a freak show and maybe the most talented tight end that LSU will have ever had in this program. So good luck to Jackson McGowan in what's next. That's 5 LSU Tigers now who have hit the transfer portal. That's ever-changing and evolving. We'll keep you up to date here on AFR. All right, let me knock out our final break of the show. We'll come back. We'll do Outer Locks next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Rouse's is the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. You can always get to Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com, or download the Rouse's app. Tell you every day about your personal shopper. So Rouse's app, go to the curbside pickup option, select your items. Your personal shopper goes, picks them out. You pull up into a designated space. They bring your groceries out to you. It's that easy. It's Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. You can always get to Rouse's.com. Hey, it is Christmas party time. If you want those holiday party trays, they have carry-out catering. You want to grab and go, they got it. You want the catering trays that have vegetables or meats or cheeses or sandwiches or fruits and cheeses, they got it at Rouse's. So don't go to the next Christmas party empty-handed. Let Rouse's help you out with all the shareables and favorites with their holiday party trays. You can order online or at any of the Rouse's locations in-store. More than 60 Rouse's locations from Lake Charles to Orange Beach, Alabama, and points in between. Rouse's.com, Rouse's.com. Rouse's, this feels like home.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $20,000 off MSRP on new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. $20,000 off plus no payments for 90 days on new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. All with Bayou's 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Life in Louisiana is a song. A symphony of sound, colors, and movement. Life is here, now. For life's moments, big and small, always there. The right card, the right care.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
Step inside an Infiniti QX50, and you'll find a suite of driver-focused features tailored to your tastes. But most of all,
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar, open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Hump Day edition of AFR presented by Pluckers. One thing left to do. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. It's time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
So we turn to the one and only, the incomparable and often incomprehensible, the Outfather himself, Jimmy Ott. Otter, how are you?
What's up, Matt?
Hey, man. 1-1 last night. FAU, a little bit of a loser for us. And we hit, though, with North Carolina. Really nice cover there by the Tar Heels. I'm sorry, UConn. Forgive me, UConn. Really nice cover there by the Tar Heels against really nice cover there by the Huskies against the Tar Heels. Sorry, I was going to get it right. All right, what we got tonight, Otter?
Okay, first of all, before I got a little 3-team money line parlay in college basketball tomorrow at 4 and 8 o'clock for the NBA semis in Las Vegas. They're clearing out the T-Mobile and going to it's going to be separate tickets for the different games. So I will have that, and I'll text it to you so you'll have it by 3 o'clock when you come on.
Okay, cool.
4 o'clock and 8 o'clock. Tonight we go on to Moneyline Parlay. Start off with the first one in the Big Ten. Maryland, 7 or 8 point favorites at home against Penn State. It's a Moneyline Parlay. It pays a little bit plus money, like plus 05, plus 10, something like that. So, Maryland.
So that's Maryland at home against Penn State?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. All right, the next one is Battle of Unbeaten, but no comparison to the caliber of competition. Clemson's got one of the best Ken Palms in the country. about top 15. They went to Tuscaloosa and beat Alabama handily. They got two guys that can really light it up. You know they won't take it easy. Should be electric atmosphere at home. And Little John Coliseum and Clemson by the lakes. So we'll go with Clemson.
Okay.
And then the final one will be Shaka Smart going against his old team. The Maui hangover, they got over that. They lost at Wisconsin. Wisconsin followed it up with a win at East Lansing last night as well. Pretty much gate the wire, double-digit win for the Badgers. So we're looking for Marquette to bounce back. Shaka going against his old team. All these teams are at home. All these lines are within 6 to 9. And so we're going to put them in a money line parlay that's going to pay about plus 05, plus 10.
I'm looking at DraftKings right now. It's plus 101.
There you go.
So Maryland, Clemson, and Marquette, a 3-team money line parlay for the Otter tonight. Anything else we're looking at?
That is it.
All right.
That is it. So
are you going to be locked? Are you going to be locked into the to Thursday Night Football or the in-season tournament, Otter?
Have you watched the Patriots?
Yes, I watched the Saints shut them out. It was great. I thought we were going to be good. We're not.
Oh well, tomorrow night's pick is going to be tied into Army Navy. So
we're going like an under parlay.
Nah, look, it's called a tease in the business, okay?
That's the easiest one to spot in the world. Are you kidding me? I know we're playing the under in Army Navy. I don't even know what the number is we're playing the under. Which have been like 17 of 18. No. And the only reason that streak ended last year, Otter, was because the game went to overtime.
That's right. That's right. Although, with this year's under, about almost half of those games would have gone over. The total is gone. The 30 threshold. I mean, it's like once Iowa has just changed the consumer confidence on the under.
It's 27.5.
Yeah.
I'm still playing the under. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. So think about that. 27.5, 28. Go back and look at the last 15, 16 years. Yes, a chunk of those, not a half, but a chunk of them would have gone over. So we're dealing with. I mean, most of those games, Matt, were like 40, and when gets bet down to like 38. I mean, it's just a new deal, man, in college football. So I guess that's why they gave the guy the Broyles Award. This poor son of a gun, you had to stop everybody every time. You couldn't allow them to get anything. So.
Well, I mean, it was the opposite was true for LSU. I mean, you couldn't get stopped. You had to score every time you had the ball.
I wish they would have played in the bowl game. I wish they would have. So, I mean, seriously.
No,
I mean,
no.
There would have been, that was a really tough defense to go against. LSU would have scored. Don't get me wrong. But I guess Iowa would have moved the ball on LSU defense. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. So,
all right, Otter, downtown Baton Rouge tomorrow?
Yes, indeed. Jolie Pearl and Town
1
Square
minute remaining.
next to each other. Facing Town Square, facing the brand new library.
Thank you, Otter. Have a great night.
And good night.
All right, we'll see you. That is Jimmy Ott. By the way, J.D. Pickett on 3 has his transfer portal quarterback predictions. Riley Leonard, Dylan Gabriel, Will Howard, Cam Ward, DJU, Kyle McCord, Will Rogers, Tyler Van Dyke, Grayson McCall. Not picking LSU as the destination for any of those. So we'll see if that holds. But ultimately, it seems like if LSU is going to be after a portal quarterback, it's going to be someone who's coming in most likely for depth. We'll see. Muse, what'd you learn today?
Mickey Loomis understands, but he doesn't like it.
Paulie, what did you learn today?
I learned that the Joe Moore Trophy is a traveling trophy.
Okay.
What did you learn, Matt?
The exodus at A&M is real. They are going to be on the struggle bus next year. All right, Muse, Paulie, I appreciate it. Y'all have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawbillsTire.com. I don't know why I'm singing that. I'm sing-songing everything right now. Maybe just because when I think about Shawbills, it makes me happy. Because I love endorsing businesses that are great people that treat you right. That's Shawbills. Like when you go to Shawbills, when you go to the website and scroll down, you'll see the customer bill of rights. They believe that just for being their customer, you are entitled to certain things, certain standards. And everyone that works at Shawbills is expected to uphold those standards. The price match guarantee is part of the Charlie's Dozen. Buy tires at Shawbills, You find them advertised somewhere else, they're going to give you 125% of the difference within 30 days if you find them advertised cheaper somewhere else. They're committed to giving you the best tires at the cheapest prices and the best service possible. It's Shawbills. ShawBillsTire.com. Shawbills, we keep you rolling.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
The world's leaders in obesity research, obesity medicine, and obesity science are right here.
We're doing something that no one's ever done or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Hey, boat